Get the club to pop when I come up with the crop. Gotta love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the club spot. Get the club to pop when I come up with the club spot. Get the club to pop when I come up with the club spot. Get the club to pop when I come up with the club spot. Get the club to pop when I come up with everybody. We do it. Everybody. We do it.
So, all right, Forrest, why are you so excited about today?
I'm super excited about today because as co-hosting with your podcast here, it's our first guest. We both agreed on who we wanted our first guest to be. It's one of my best friends in the business, somebody that's just, you know, been an amazing ally and taught me a lot of stuff about the animals and helped me get some of my dream animals. Yeah. And that is Joe motherfucking Switalski. So...
Tanner 2 times, Tanner 2 times, say it, Tanner 2 times, do it. Oh, what the fuck is good, everybody? Woo! What is cracking? What up? What's going on? That just pumped me up, man. Just hearing Forrest's voice just gets me so jacked up in a good way. I'm so excited for tonight's episode. How's everyone doing out there, man? Shout out to my trappers out there, man, my supporters, my loyal ones, the ones who just hit me up, give me nothing but support and love, all the early birds in the comments, man. I know who you are. I appreciate you guys so much. You have no idea. You guys are my drive, my motivation. So shout out to you guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Quick shout out to the sponsors. You guys already know what the deal is. Hold on, let me put my headphones on. I want to make sure I can hear myself. Make sure I'm not talking to myself. Yep, here I am. All right, so real quick shout out to the sponsors. You guys know what the deal is. If you want to get the freshest, the bestest delivered to your doorstep, that is www.coldbloodedcafe.com. Yo, you get your little smallest day one mouse pinks all the way up to your mammoth rats. If you have all diverse size animals like I do, that's where you go to, man. Coldbloodedcafe.com. You got reptile eggs, put them in a damn sim container. I'm going to tell you why I'm trying not to cuss as much. I will still cuss, but I don't know. I'm kind of sketched out about YouTube right now. But simcontainers.com. Make sure you check them out. You got eggs. You put them in there. You'll be successful as long as you're not an idiot with your temperatures and stuff like that. I've been that idiot. But other than that, I'm just saying humidity, all that shit. You're not going to go wrong with the sim containers, man. But shout out to everyone. Like I said, I'm so excited for tonight. Got a fresh-ass bottle. I'm going to open this up real quick. Do want to say, hold up. I do want to say I got some sick shit in the mail. I want to go ahead and show off real quick. And then, like I said, shout out to everyone who's tuning in. Shout out to all the supporters, all the viewers. Let's do this. Game time. Who is in the comments real quick? I just want to see who the fuck's up in this comments real quick. Calvin Garcia, the young OG. This kid is going to be going places. Super determined. Thank you for being here. Brandon Wheeler. What up, Brandon? Homie Brandon Wheeler in the house. Make sure you check out the episode I did with Riley Jemison. Brandon was the special guest. Like, he was fucking honestly the honored special guest to be a part of that episode with Riley. And we even sexed some of his jungle carpets, I believe, right? Jungle carpets on the channel. And I don't even want to tell, I mean, I mentioned this the other episode, but I'm going to keep mentioning it because it's some sick ass stuff that I haven't seen happening on any other podcast. So go check it out. Link in the description below. But what's good? Alec Baker, what's good? Grab your balls. Grab your balls. What do you know? Let's get to the stuff I got in the mail, since Grab Your Balls is in the building. So first and foremost, I finally got my first. There's another sticker somewhere, but I don't know where it went. But shout out to the UK, Manchester. Okay, are you ready for some Manchester, UK? This is Dan's Balls over at Dan's Balls, UK, Manchester. Man, I got your sticker. You sent me another one. I don't know where the hell it went, but shout out to Dan's Balls, man. International stickers. I fuck with the international peeps, man. I appreciate that so much. And then I went ahead and did an Instagram story on these fucking straight. Instagram. So I want to talk about this real quick. I got flagged, right? Or somebody, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but somebody hit me, or no, okay, excuse me. YouTube hit me up saying there's some unnecessary stuff going on. And it was ever since the Riley episode where I was like hitting dabs and shit. So they haven't responded and told me what specific thing I was doing that was inappropriate. I'm assuming it was the weed smoking, which is completely legal. So I don't know what the hell the problem is. I even click that button that says not for kids every single time something gets uploaded. So this isn't for children. I mean, if unless you're really confident with your children, then let them see this. But Instagram, this is not weed, okay? This is Royal Hemp Bedding. All right. I got sent this from a company called Royal Hemp Bedding, or I think the company's called Creme de la Clutch. Creme de la Clutch Exotics. So make sure you check them out. They are on Instagram. He hit me up on Facebook, which I rarely ever talk to people on Facebook, But yeah, man. So check this bedding out. Hemp bedding, right? So it's made out of real hemp. That's tight. You can't smoke it. I already asked that. But yeah, thank you for the samples of the bedding. That's tight. Grab your balls. All right, so check this out. I left this in the package because this is very player. Like, let's talk about this real quick, okay? This is obviously a mail envelope or mail packaging, which I've been, if you guys have been getting your Zoo Dream shirts, yeah, you're welcome. But I send my Zoo Dreams and, Forrest Fanning shirts all through just regular, But look what this guy got, bro. This shit is hard. Grab your balls. This shit is hard. And you know what? If you got balls, grab them. You know what I mean? Just grab them. Now's the time to grab them for reals. So sick ass mail envelope. So I got a shirt. It's black. I already know I'm gonna be stoked because I like black. Black's my color. But damn, bro, this is hard. All right. So here it is. Black t-shirt. Grab your balls. Yeah, that bedding's like powder everywhere. But sick ass t-shirt, bro. This is tight. I appreciate it. Even has this little marketing, got to have the Instagram marketing on the back. So you make sure you go follow this guy. I'm going to put his link in the description below, but grab your balls. Doug, thank you so much for this shirt. I really appreciate it, man. Good shit. If you guys want to send me shit, you want me to put you on game on my podcast, then hit me up. I'm here to put you out for free marketing for you. So let me know. Enough is enough. Let's talk about tonight. Oh, man. Sorry about last week. Didn't make it to last week. I had some other priorities I had to take care of. I officially took over Tia and Tamara, the alpacas who've been living in the back part of my house, been owned by the neighbors, but now they officially live with me. I'm super stoked. Not in the house, but shit music over there. But anyways, I had to take care of some stuff last week. No regrets, but now we're here. This week, got my homie, JS, Joe Switalski. As you guys saw before we went live, this guy right here, he's been my day one, man. I'm going to say that right now. He, what? Fuck. It's over 70%. I'm not a mathematician or anything, but what? 77% of the fucking exotic snakes I keep in here, probably closer to 82%, if I do my math right, is fucking from Joe Switalski. I mean, nobody's perfect, right? Which we'll talk about. Trust me, we'll talk about it. But at the end of the day, he's somebody who was able to put me on a platform where I was able to build and dream more and build more and dream more. Some shit that Forrest had with him. Forrest is my motherfucking boy. I had a relationship with Joe before Forrest and I had a relationship, right? But then when I met Forrest and I found out that he was tight as fuck with Joe, and because there's not too many people tight as fuck with Joe, I'm telling you, right? Obviously, there's people who know that, but me and Forrest had this, obviously Forrest is, his Joe's list, Forrest is up here. I was just close enough to where I could high five Forrest at least, So, but it's more than just somebody I purchased snakes from. This is a tight-knit fucking kind of a growth friendship I have with this guy, which I respect. And yeah, man, here he is, fucking Joe Switalski. What's up, Joe?
What's going on, man? I think we're having a pretty bad signal down in Everglades City. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound perfectly fine. Am I okay?
Yeah, you're good, man. Like I said, had to find somewhere where there was a Wi-Fi hotspot down here. So, just cutting into fishing time.
Well, you're here, bro. I really appreciate you giving me the time of day. Which you
always,
do a lot.
Man. Always, bro. I put on for the boys, man. It's all good.
You hella do. How's everything going on your end with this fucking whole Corona shit? I mean, I hear you're fishing, so you're being active, right? You got shit going on.
Yeah, man. I mean, as far as business, it's slammed. It's you just can't keep stuff in stock, and everybody's just playing it safe. Unfortunately, Florida has now become the epicenter. In terms of the virus resurgence, and especially here in Broward. Miami-Dade, Palm Beach County, the three most populous counties in the state, are having record-breaking numbers in terms of infections. Not deaths, but hopefully people just continue to wear their masks when they go in the public, be safe, be smart, don't be stupid.
I mean, regardless how you feel about the mask, right? It's just fucking common courtesy. It's about respecting.
Bottom line. Just wear your fucking mask. If you're going into a store, I mean, I don't like wearing it, but you know what? I don't want to, freak out some 90-year-old lady and she drops dead of a heart attack. I mean, I'd feel bad, But
yeah, at the end of the day, I don't want to be that guy to be the reason why someone fucking croaked that fucking Smart and Final or some shit. I just don't want to,
exactly.
I got shit to do, man. I got fucking snakes to clean. I ain't, I don't want to be talking to cops.
Nope.
You weren't wearing your mask. She fucking,
Oh, it gets bad down here, man. During the height of it.
What up with that dude who got thrown into the swamp because he wasn't wearing his mask or something? Was that shit real?
Oh man. Was it on the Instagram Oli and Dade?
It was like, I think it was. You posted it, I think.
Yeah. No, it was the guy in Miami, bro, and I guess he wasn't wearing his mask, and people just got pissed and just. Threw him in the waters of Biscayne Bay.
That shit looked grimy too. That didn't look like some water you want to be in.
Yeah, it's the bay, so you have a lot of seaweed that gets backed up and garbage. But yeah, hopefully he had his tetanus shots and all that.
So Joe, let's just talk about this real quick. Let's tell everyone like your location, right? You're down in Florida, but like let's kind of talk about the whereabouts, like where kind of because you've been a Florida boy your entire life, right?
Yep. Yeah. Born and raised in Florida. I lived in North Florida 2 different times during my life. Also lived in Costa Rica for a year. Traveled throughout Central and South America. I'm right now I live in, based out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, which is just north of Miami. And currently right now, just on the southwest coast, over in Everglades City, doing some fishing, and then later tonight python hunting because it's that time of the year. Everybody's favorite invasive species come out, the Burmese python. So
I've seen. Okay, because there's a famous spot where people go and hunt fucking pythons at, and you're on that road a lot. It seems like it's like open, and then like there's all this Everglades on the sides, like, or it's probably the Everglades. How far are you from the Everglades?
Well, from to get to the good spots, from where I am in Fort Lauderdale. So basically from my house to get to the good spots, depending on what you want to go for, if you want to see diamondbacks, diamondback rattlesnakes, you got to go over here to the West Coast, over Everglades City, the western part of Big Cypress. That's where you'll find them. But, the snakes are very common out here. So,
Can you believe I got rid of the speckled?
Did you?
Yeah, I gave it to Miguel. He swooped it.
Why'd you get rid of it, man?
Because I was tired of Lily telling me she's having nightmares every morning, and it was happening like it was happening pretty consistent, and then it would stop for a week, and then she would catch me handling it, and then it would start all over again. And I was just a fool with it, bro. I guess I just couldn't control myself. I liked holding it.
That's not cool, man. I'm gonna have to call Lily tomorrow and give her a piece of my mind.
Oh shit, she's in the other room probably watching this. She might stumble in here and be like, "What's good?"
Yeah.
No, but trust me, she'll take any shit you want to talk, because at the end of the day, that thing's not here anymore. So what are you gonna do,
well,
bro?
You know what I mean? Hey, honestly though, bro, those, you know, I mean, that is a very bad bite.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, a good friend of mine and Forrest is Cody. He got bit by, I'm pretty sure it was a speckled, or it might have been a Panamint, but either way, you know, closely related, and it was a bad bite. You know, that's not a, you know, it's a, you know, they're a smaller snake, but still. You know,
I don't have the resources if I get bit. You know, I would have to go to a fucking hospital like some Joe Schmo, and like they'd be like, "What?" And then they'd ask questions, and I just don't. You know what I mean? I don't.
Well, yeah, you would get bit, you know, or you would get bit. You go to the hospital, and then they would charge, you know, for crowfab. You know, you know, the hospital can charge anywhere from $4,500 to $5,500 a vial, and you're looking at a minimum of 20 for a bite like that. So do the math. Exactly.
I did research, and I do know my insurance would cover. I don't know how. I think 50 grand or something like that. So, which I don't know.
Crowfab's the worst antivenom, man. I mean, it is just god awful terrible. It takes so much more vials to treat a snake bite. I mean, there was someone down here in Florida who got bit by a pygmy rattlesnake, and that person needed like 30 plus vials.
Ooh, damn, bro.
You know, that's just, it's crazy, you know, but that's, you know, the FDA, that's the only approved antivenom. You know, all exotic antivenoms are non-FDA, you know, experimental, and you got to have, you know, the research permit for it, and got to have a doctor sign off on it and all that stuff. So it's, you know, it's pretty cumbersome, but, you know, if you're keeping exotics, it's good to have, you know, an emergency stash, whether, you know, even if it's expired, you know, I mean, you know, even this, you know, the stuff I used for the Bushmaster bite, it was, I think it was 15 years expired, and it did the trick.
So you got bit by Bushmaster, a fucking, which is gnarly. But what was your first venomous bite?
My first venomous bite was in May of 2009 by a Borneo tree viper, and I was, I just had this big, huge Indo shipment come in that week. Had South Africa too, so you know, just things were chaotic. And I remember it like it was like it was yesterday. And I was actually packing it up to send to a friend in Pennsylvania, and I wrote on the bag, you know, "Careful, I bite." Well, make a long story short, you know, there's just a, you know, bagging mishaps with the snake, and the snake bit me in the thumb through the bag. So
right. Damn.
Yeah.
And then how big was that bite? Like, I mean, how big of an effect did that have as far as like you having to get rushed to the hospital? Like what happened? What was the after effect?
Well, you know, again, you know, I didn't, you know, Borneo tree vipers, you know, especially that, it was a male. It was probably just a little over a foot, you know, like a fuzzy feeder. So it didn't have the, you know, luckily it wasn't a female, because the females on those get huge, you know, the Panesius.
Yeah.
They get enormous. I mean, I've seen females over 3 foot long, and their heads are, you know, just massive. I mean, they, you know, rat pups. So, you know, it was good that it didn't dump that much venom in, but still it got me on the thumb. And I got 2 vials of antivenom. I spent the night in ICU, and, you know, after that, I was like, next morning, I'm like, you know, get me out of here, man. I got shit to do. So.
And what year was this?
That was May of 2009.
So that was 2009. This fool's getting bit. So wow. Okay. So 2009. What, we were 20, 23, 20, yeah, 23, 22. How old are we?
I was 20. Yeah, I'm 35 now. So
yeah, 85. We're the same age. So me and Joe is the same age. We 85 all the way. But I was not doing the shit he was doing in 2009. That's damn sure. I mean, only dangerous shit I was doing was taking ecstasy with shrooms and a bunch of shit. But like, which I'm glad to be alive for that, and I don't recommend that unless you're.
No doubt. There's no antivenom for that, man.
So okay, so 2009, your most. I mean, that was your first.
Yeah, that was the first. You know, that was the first envenomation. You know, just that. You know, accidents happen. It's not a. You know, it's not a badge of honor. You know, I mean, if people, you know, when people ask about it, I have no problem talking about it. You know, I have nothing to be embarrassed about because, you know, shit happens. You know, you work with electricity enough, you're gonna get shocked. And it's the same thing with venomous. It's the same thing with venomous snakes, man. You know, when you have a collection like I do, and then when you deal with the number of stuff that I have and done, it's, you know, one slip up, that's it, man. You know.
But listen, you're in that game because you understand that you're in that game. Like it's kind of like you can't expect somebody to be like, or you can't expect a sport to be like, all right, I want to box, but I don't ever want to get knocked out. Like that's the thing. Like I'm down.
Well, exactly. You know, you gotta be prepared at all times. You know, you gotta have your protocols in place.
Yeah, you do.
You know, if you have access to antivenom, you know, have it. You know, make sure it's coded. You know, have that. You know, have like the sticker. You know, with the name on the cage where the animal's at. So that way, you know what to do, because, you know, depending on what species it is, you know, it can render you unconscious in, you know, a little under a minute.
So 2009,
yeah.
You got the bite. What was the next bite after that? Was that the Bushmaster?
No, next bite was in October of 2017, and that was more or less, you know, that was a mild bite. It was it two fangs? Yeah, it was two fangs, and it was actually from my this real nasty fertile ants that I have. It was about a 4-foot female, and I was going to feed it, and she just, you know, like fertile ants are, typical Bothrop. She just, you know, she wedged herself up against the corner of the cage, and when she struck, man, she just got that extra couple inches, and just got my. Where did she get me? Oh, she got me on the right hand pointer finger, and that one, you know, that one kind of, you know, obviously, you know, getting bit by any venomous snake's dangerous and, you know, of concern, but, you know, when you start getting into the Bothrops, that's really concerning. You know, just due to what venom
that's
can, you know,
really concerning. Yeah.
Yeah, no, man, that's, you know, there's just a host of issues. You know, cerebral hemorrhaging. You know, you'll start bleeding internally. I mean, a lot of things could go wrong very quickly, and you know, especially with the size of that snake. I mean, that's a straight up killer, man. I mean, they kill people in Central and South America. So, yeah, and, you know, of course, you know, my luck that day. You know, right after it happened, it started like pouring down, raining, and you know, I had one of my buddies drive me to the hospital, and, you know, I called Captain Scott Mullen on Miami-Dade Fire Rescue. He was working that day, and, you know, I called him and told him what happened, and said, you know, yeah, you know, I said I have, you know, 3 vials of Costa Rican polyvalent. So I said, right now, Scott, you know, it's pretty localized. You know, we're on the way to the hospital. I said, but it hasn't started spreading, you know, too much into the hand. I'm like, so when we get to the hospital, we'll just evaluate it, and, you know, we'll see we'll see what's going on. So by the time I got there, which was, you know, less than 5 minutes, maybe a little over 5 minutes later, we, you know, it started spreading into the hand, and, you know, just due to the severity of the bite, you know, Miami-Dade Fire Rescue has, you know, they have their air fleet. You know, they have, you know, search and rescue, and, you know, they have their, you know, medevac helicopter. So Scott hopped on a medevac helicopter, and, yeah, made the, you know, if he drove with lights and sirens, it would have been, you know, a 45-minute trip, but he cut that 45-minute trip down to like 15 minutes by, you know, flying up on the chopper.
Right.
So I kind of had like that VIP, you know, like, you know, because it was funny. Like I got, you know, they put me on a stretcher and they wheeled me in and stuff, and, you know, I'm completely conscious, and, you know, I'm telling them what to do and stuff, and this doctor comes in and he's like, hey, who are you? I'm like, I told him my name. He's like, oh, are you like, you know, he's like, are you like important or something? I'm like, no, not really. Why? He's like, oh, well, they just landed in a helicopter. I said, yeah. I said, I know him. It's all good. You know, that's just how we roll down here. Everybody looks after everybody, you know?
This is typical shit. Fuck.
Yeah, unfortunately.
All right, so at least I'm assuming it's leading up to the meat and potatoes right here, the Bushmaster, right?
Yeah, you know, I mean, and it's weird too. You know, that Bothrops bite was in October, and then the Bushmaster bite was this past October as well. And yeah, man, that was scary. That was definitely scary. You know, for as bad as it could have been, luckily I had, you know, the proper antivenom on hand, and, that definitely saved me because, just even, I look back and, even with, additional antivenom on the way, if I didn't have my own stock, I don't know if it would have, I probably would have been unconscious by the time they got there because I was already slipping into it when,
I remember that.
About 15 minutes after the bite.
So you get, and this is at the point where the nurse didn't want to give you the antivenom yet because it was expired or something like that, right?
Correct. The doctor, and, she was a super nice doctor, young, and, I mean, she's freaked out because, here's just this guy that's just walked in off the street and just said, yo, I got bit by a bushmaster, here's what you got to do. So, I'm telling a medical professional what to do,
well,
but, in respect, but, and in fairness to them, they don't get advanced, treatment on snake bites in med school. It's all, basic and, they got to follow, poison control guidelines and, it's just a lot of red tape. I mean, it's government shit. And, when the government's involved, there's always red tape.
100% every single time. There's always going to be some sort of hot fucking mess you don't want to be in when the government's involved.
No, it's just, it always turns into just a shit show and, delays. And, and that's what it was there. They were hesitant because, well, it's expired. And I said, talking about, deadliest snake in the Western Hemisphere. I don't care if it's expired. I said, if it's 50% potent, that's better than nothing. And, I don't want to sit here and keep going into seizures and, having all that bad stuff happen. I mean, the whites in my eyes were completely filled with blood. It was going downhill fast, man.
But you're able to pull through, right? You ended up like telling them, like, ended up screaming at them almost at one point, right? Tell them to
yep, I did. It was, I felt the lights going out one by one. And, even though, people there, were, my dad was there and, he was talking, he was on the phone with, Captain Fobb from Miami-Dade. Also, Ernie Gilson, who is the co-founder of Miami-Dade Fire Rescue. Ernie's a personal friend of mine. He was on too. And I just, I just knew that if I passed out, I wasn't going to have control over the situation. And, I wanted to still be in control, telling them what to do because, these people were more freaked out than me.
And that's a bad thing. So if you're not around to keep anyone calm or to tell them what to do, you're just fucked. I mean, who knows? You probably would have been done so.
I could have been,
or like a vegetable or some shit. Something wouldn't have been normal in you. Like you would have, like something would have been.
Well, that's the thing with bushmasters. I mean, you're not gonna, have super bad necrosis and stuff like that. They don't call them the silent fate for nothing. I mean, you just die. Like you get bit, you die. I mean, except for the late Dean Repa. Dean survived, I think, over half a dozen bushmaster bites.
Right.
And Dean's, God rest his soul, but he was a legend, man. And
who was Dean?
Who?
What you mentioned? What was his name? Dean.
His name was Dean Repa. He was the owner of Cape Fear Serpentarium in North Carolina. Unfortunately, he got murdered in the summer of 2016 or 2017, I believe.
What?
It was a pretty high-profile case. His wife murdered him, and it was just a big mess.
What the, bro? This is too much Netflix going on in this fucking hobby. I'm telling you, this is weird.
I know, man. Like wives killing their husbands with snakes and stuff, and it's sad. Dean left behind a son. I think his son was like 3 years old at the time. So I mean, the poor kid's going to grow up without his dad and without his mother because his mom, is locked away for life now. So
yeah, and now the kid's is fucked. I mean, he's not fucked. I feel bad. He just has no parent now. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I feel so bad for that kid. I'm sorry, man. That sucks. That really sucks to hear.
And Dean was a legend. I mean, he bred. He was the first to breed black-headed bushmasters here in the United States, and if I recall, I think he bred. He he bred all of them. He bred the Central Americans, the Spinafres. He bred the South Americans, which are the Mudas. So I mean, plus other stuff too. So Dean was one of a kind, man. There'll definitely never be one like him.
So let me ask you this, Joe. Your passion's still deep enough after what, 3 bites? You've only had 3 bites, or didn't you get one? You got one more after that, right?
I mean, no, it's 3 hospitalizations. There's been a couple dry bites and stuff like that. I mean, force feeding baby pygmies and stuff like that. They'll roll. They'll get they'll nick you with a fang or something. So yeah, I mean, 2 or 3 dry bites. So I mean, you got to figure, out of I've been keeping venomous snakes since I was 13. When I caught my first pygmy. I've been licensed with the state of Florida since I was 18. So yeah, I mean, do the math. It's a long time.
I want to know, since you've been keeping Venomous for so long, and from what I see, man, you respect Venomous. You've never once fucking sent me any videos of you handling them or post them right. But
I mean, and the thing is, there's people that the whole. That's always been a big thing in the Venomous community, the free handling and stuff like that. I mean,
kissing on the head too.
No, I've never had the balls to do that. No, free handling. I've done that. I mean, anyone who says they haven't, I'll straight up call them a liar. As everybody's acted a fool once or twice, but I mean it was a huge debate 20 years ago in the community. Or whatever's left of it, and it's it's still that way today. But I mean, this is how I look at it. The danger isn't from someone free handling in their in their own facility or their house, wherever they keep their animals. The biggest threat to the hobby is when a snake gets out and you have cobras loose. Like in 2015, there's 2 different instances where. Here in Florida, where there was monocle cobras that got lost.
Damn, I hear you. Keep talking.
So that's the biggest thing. That's detrimental to the hobby. Is obviously, if you're keeping a venomous snake and you have a king cobra get loose and it's loose for 3 weeks, like this one was up north of Orlando. I mean, that's a problem. That's going to cause a lot of problem because if you have someone free handling, they're going to put it on video and. They're going to do what they want with it, but at the end of the day, they're not endangering anybody but themselves. So, you can't hate on them for that. I mean, you can, but just like every other critic that sits behind a keyboard. I mean, if you've never done it, just like quit. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm just different. I have too much things to do in my life and just sit there and go and critique somebody who wants to. Free handle a king cobra or whatever, like I don't care. It doesn't affect me. I mind my own business, man.
And I'll tell you what, that's one thing. I mean, I've obviously been known to speak up, on shit that I can't stand to see. But I mean, I'll tell you right now, the whole free handling a reptile, or a rattle, or venomous, I'm super not a fan of, but I'm also not going to fucking attack someone that's just their thing. And that's like, but I hope they really understand what comes with that fucking thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, perfect example is a very good friend of mine. Known him a long time. He's one of my boys down here. Is David Weathers.
Yeah.
And David was a lightning rod for years in the community. People just like today, they just sit there and talk shit online, talk shit. And Dave would go up to him and he would see him at an expo and be like, hey, what's up? You got something to say? And it's just crickets. You just hear nothing.
Fuck yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
And, it's like, and the funniest thing was, and you still have people this day that bash Dave and, for what? I mean, the guy's bites that he's endured over his years of keeping venomous reptiles, his bites were never from free handling. It was, there was a feeding accident one time with a cantil. There was, there's the famous cobra bite to his stomach. It's none of it was ever free handling an animal. It was always just a bite that happened, and that's that. But people, he was always the lightning rod in it. Oh, Dave this, Dave that. People would just talk, and but when presented, they never had nothing to say to him in person.
How long are you and Dave know each other for?
Oh God, man, I've known Dave probably least better half, over a decade. Dave lives over on the West Coast, so he's only about a 2 hour trip from me. So, he's one of the triple OGs down here. I mean, the guy's incredible. His handling is, second to none. He does stuff that, I wouldn't even do, bro. I remember one time, our first time we ever went snake hunting together. We're up in Osceola National Forest, right? And we had a good night that night, caught a few cane breaks and stuff, and we were going back into town to crash at the hotel. And Dave's like, oh, he's like, yeah, that one cane break we caught. He's like, I want to get it out and get some better photos of it. I'm like, all right, cool. So, I take the box out, pop the box, and next thing I know, I look over and I just see Dave reaching in the box with this fully loaded, pissed off, 4-foot female canebrake, and he just reaches in and just grabs it. And I'm just like, what the hell did I just see? Like, I was like in shock. The snake was completely coiled, and he just reached in, slid his hand under it, picked her up, and she was just sitting in the palm of his hand. And I didn't even know what to say, man. I was speechless.
That's a different kind of human. There's like
Dave's on
Kobe. Like he's that guy in that industry, bro. Like what are you gonna do?
Oh yeah, Dave. Dave's the last. Dave's the last of a dying breed. Again, he's a Florida boy, born and raised down here. Cut his teeth under a lot of the same people that I know. And like I said, his handling ability and knowing the animals that he's working with is just second to none. There's nobody else out there like him. No one can even come close.
So this is obviously like an idol to you, or like a mentor, somebody you really look up to, that's been in your career of keeping animals for like for a while, right?
I actually got introduced to Dave from another good friend of mine, because like we knew of each other, before, but our paths just never crossed for whatever reason. But then when one of my boys said, hey, I'm bringing Dave over, I said, oh, cool. So we got together, and instantly, he's the same kind of guy like how you are and how I am. So obviously, we hit it off perfect, and we've been good friends ever since. But Dave just has a wealth of knowledge on everything. Venomous snakes, crocodilians. He's a plus I don't know if you remember that Jackass episode where they had Kobe jump over the pool with snakes. Dave was there. He was the one that set that up.
That's so sick.
Yep.
That's so sick. That's one thing where, not that I'm all like, man, I hope, my goal is to collab with a celebrity, but you just never know. Like, it's just being in the hobby where you keep cool shit. You just never know. You never know who you can meet that's interested in it. And, that's why, and I love having that kind of opportunity, man. Like just in this hobby alone, I've met so many different diverse people and shit. So it's like,
yeah. Well, and that's one of the the better things about about this hobby is there's people from all walks of life, and that come and keep these animals and want to be successful at what they do. And unfortunately sometimes things go a little bit sideways, but for the most part it's a very very accepting, all-inclusive type of community.
Let's talk about the community, man.
Which one?
Well, as a whole, right? I feel like there's different communities, Instagram versus Facebook for sure. Like, I feel like there's a whole different kind of audience support system, and less toxic shit on Instagram. What do you think of the two? Let me ask you that. You came from Facebook, heavy into Facebook, and then you came to Instagram, and I kept pushing your ass to just do shit. And now you're still private though, right?
Yeah, man. You know me, bro. I don't gotta go out there, and I don't have to sit on, I don't have to sit on Facebook. I got stuff to do. I got a full-time job dealing with animals, and I also have my own collection, and I also like to get out and do stuff. So I don't have time, to sit there all day on a forum, talking to 50 million people just to talk to people. I'm not a dick, but at the same time, I got stuff to do, man.
Yeah.
And but yeah, no, Instagram seems to be a little bit less. Facebook, but it's social media, man. Anytime you get with social media, even back in the day with MySpace, it was just, there's always someone that wants to run their fucking mouth about something. They don't even know the person. and they'll just sit there and just talk and talk and talk, and it's you just gotta sit back and laugh, because some of the stuff you just hear is just absolutely absurd and is just so far from the truth. You just can't help but laugh, and that seems to be what it is. But yeah, no, I would say Instagram is more or less a lot less drama. Facebook has the drama. I mean, every group, subgroup of the reptile world has it. Forrest and I used to talk about it all the time, and
Yeah.
we would just sit there and shake our heads and just be like, man, it's like literally like who has time to sit there and just like talk shit on the internet for no reason? It's like
There's a lot of people.
what
Which
I can understand now. These last 4 months or so with the whole coronavirus, people are out of work and they're just sitting home bored and angry and who knows what. But it's like, man, find something to do other than just sit there and just talking, or I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't know. I don't care. I laugh when I'll just I'll go on. I'll just scroll through some stuff, or I'll be out snake hunting and someone will send me a screenshot and I just start laughing. I'm just like, God, man, are people's lives that miserable where they just got to sit there and just run their mouths like just verbal diarrhea the whole time? But hey, man, it is what it is. That's the best thing about the United States, America. You can
freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech, man.
No commies here.
Nope.
Now let me ask you this though, man. This is all true, and this is all like you tell me your true opinion on this because you've been in the hobby for a while, and there's certain people out there who just don't normally speak up on shit, don't really share any of their experiences, but they finally do speak up on shit. Like recent, I'm not going to drop any names, but 2 recent legends, like basically had some sort of like there was shit said about one, and it raised a lot of attention, right? What do you? Can you blame people like that? Like, what's your input on shit like that? Like, when somebody gets pushed to a point.
Bottom line is this, and this applies in life in general. There's three sides. There's 3 sides to any story. There's whoever said it, the person they're talking about, and then the truth.
Right.
And so it's easy for one person to go and say, oh well, this person, let's make up a case. Let's say we got 2 keepers named, Bobby and Don. And let's say they were best friends 15 years ago and they had a breeding collab going on. And Bobby sent Don a snake unknowingly that had, let's say they were doing boas because, back then, boas were all the rage. Let's say that, he sent him a snake unknowingly with IBD. And they have a falling out, and then this the shit talking just commences, and I mean it's just that if you're stupid enough to bring an animal in from any collection without getting the proper precautions and stuff, that's your own fault. That's a failure on yourself as a reptile keeper, because the number one thing that you're taught when you're coming up in this is, it doesn't matter what the source is, you put the animal in quarantine and you treat it, because why would you want to lose your collection? I would hate, if I skipped quarantine and didn't do swabs for, certain types of viruses, and, I bring a snake into, my collection and I kill, some of the rarest pit vipers that are in the world, and all of that has to be done. And all of that is just self-discipline. And, just working with what you want, not having that hoarding mentality, which unfortunately is very rampant in this community. You get a lot of people out there that, they feel that they have to get into something and make a statement, and they go full force. And next thing you know, they're cutting corners. And, look at nidovirus. It started in ball pythons, and then it jumped from balls to what it was. It first found in, I think, 2009. And, then it jumped to green tree pythons, because back in the day, a lot of the big chondro guys kept and bred ball pythons. So that's just how it's been jumping around, and it's been found in other species. And I think someone recently, I think it was in North Florida, I saw where someone was doing a research on something, and they found like a water snake with a nidovirus variant, which I mean, I don't know how that is, but
Weird.
who knows, But
Man.
that's the bottom line. I tell anybody. I mean, it doesn't matter if the snake comes from a zoo or the whoever. I mean, you just quarantine it because there's so many diseases and viruses out there that are what I call them slow burners. You got crypto, you got I mean, a lot of these viruses, paramyxovirus, IBD. I mean, this stuff can just be symptomatic in your collection it can be asymptomatic for years. And, all of a sudden one time an animal gets stressed, it starts shedding the virus. And next thing you know, you walk in, you have a room full of dead snakes.
And this is why Lily's speaking up that she's going to start a business for rare. She's tripping.
Shout out to Cheeks.
Oh my God! Because of your icon pick, he calls you Cheeks. Okay, and I can't say nothing to the big homie yet. So thanks a lot for picking that photo, Mrs. J.
Shout out to Mrs. J, the real MVP over there.
Damn, hella, bro. So to talk more on that subject, okay? Because I mean, it's clearly you can't argue what you're saying. You should always no matter where the snake comes from, there's a protocol for everything, right?
Yeah.
And I learned, listen, dude, I'm going to tell you right now, bro, when I first started working with imports, and I got my first mishap that I had with you was the mangroves. You gave me baby mangroves and they just happened to croak the first week. And you really took care of me after that. Like, I remember it was no issue. Like you said, oh, I forgot what you did, but you made up for it. Right. Mm-hmm. But in cases like that, right, because what's happening, bro, is supposedly you don't take care of everybody like that. Supposedly, and look, I'm not here to say you're right or so. This is me just being in the middle, right? So because at the end of the day, the reason why me and you are the way we are is because I owe a lot to you because where I'm at, like with the animals I have, chondro clutches, all those came from Joe Switalski, okay? But apparently not everyone else is getting that kind of treatment, and they want to know why. That's the funniest thing, because I mean, there's been times where it's like someone will say something, then someone will be like, oh yeah, Joe sold me this snake, insert species, let's say a giant rat snake, Pataeus mucosa. They're wild caught. There's been a few people that have bred them here, but most of them are wild caught, and I mean that's what it is, and it's so fucking true, bro. And listen, can I also? I don't want
to. And there's times where a snake might die, a month or 2 months later. I mean, what am I supposed to do? I mean, it sucks. Anytime an animal loses its life, it's terrible. But a lot of times, when you go back and if you go into depth and look at it, you can tell it was a keeper error. And if I don't know about it, there's nothing I can do about it. And that's one of the biggest things. I mean, there's people out there that there's other people out there to where it's like, hey, once that animal's out of their hands, that's it. They don't have any guarantees, because I mean, I've seen it firsthand. I mean, this was an absolute train wreck a couple months ago. This guy bought a what did he buy? Bought an emerald tree boa. It was a farm baby born from a gravid female. And, he knew that. And he sends me a picture. And I told him exactly how to set it up. You can keep it over water, or you can keep it on, on paper towels, water bowl with the 2 perches. I told him exactly how it was, how they were in the rack. I think I even took a picture of it. Yeah. Well, so I get it was like a week later, I get a message from this guy, and he's telling me, oh, how the snake's not eating, or it hasn't fed yet, and it's looking dehydrated. So the first thing I said, send me a picture of your enclosure. What do you get? You get a busted ass, a busted ass Exoterra with these 2 crappy, low hanging perches. I mean, and then just this.
Basically nothing what you told him to do is what you saw.
I mean, dude, it was the total opposite. He might as well just been like, hey, Joe, fuck you. I'm doing whatever I want, and that's it. And
I witnessed that personally, hands-on myself. I remember I've even had someone that I'm like, hey, did you sell this guy this snake? And you'd be like, yeah, this is somebody I knew who had a snake for a while and basically just fucked the snake over. It wasn't even from you, it was from Chelsea. Chelsea fucking hatched this snake.
That guy, yeah. That was a special case there.
That was a beautiful emerald, and I forgot when it ended up happening.
What happened with that was one of the babies that Chelsea had a litter in 2016 from a pair that she got from me. She bred them. She had a litter, and I believe it was November of 2016, and I think it was like a year and a half, almost 2 years after that. She sold me a couple of her holdbacks, and this guy ended up with one, and then dude, so literally the snake's 3 years old at this point, and I guess it developed some bump, and then the guy was starting a GoFundMe account to go have the vet check it out. But then, he tries to come blaming me, bro. Saying "Oh, this is your fault." I'm like, "How is it my fault, man? Are you kidding me?"
Now, that's fucking wild, man. Now, I will say this, man, because when I was first fucking with you, Joe, and okay, what was the first purchase? Oh, the Viper boas. Oh my god.
But the first thing I shipped you were Viper boas and I believe white lip pythons.
Oh man, dude, the first package I got from him was just because I was searching for these animals forever, and then my homie JH Python, shout out to Jason, JH Pythons is like, hey man, you should go check out Joe Switalski, but he doesn't have Instagram, but he has Facebook. I was like, you ever talk to him? He's like, no, I've never hit him up, and that's when I just fucking came straight to your
you did, man.
And you basically, I asked you what you had, and I said Viper boas and white lips. You said you had fucking both, and literally, I remember I shot the money over to you, and we fucking boom. Next thing you know, they're at my doorstep, and that's when shit just started happening. And I was like, God damn, that was so quick, and it just started building up. But then go ahead.
No, go ahead.
But then, like I said, I ended up getting into harder species, which I wasn't really prepared for, like the mangroves, right? And when shit was dying on me, even though you were taking care of me, I was still getting pissed off. I was kind of taking it personal. That was before I was seeing dead. I've never seen a dead snake before. So or at least a pet dead snake that I've been taking care of. And I was a little wimp in the beginning. My heart was a little bit too bigger than I thought when fucking with imports, period. But I remember I was getting pretty upset, and I was talking to one homie. I'm not going to share his name. I'll tell you who he is after the show. But I was talking to one homie who was getting shit, not the same shit, but he was getting mad shit from you as well. And there was shit that was going down on him as well. But he was the kind of guy who he would never even go tell you about this, because I would ask him, did you go tell him? And he would say no. And it wowed me. But he would simply explain that he understands that he's getting a fucking snake that's not born here in the United States. It's fucking being shipped here from another country, right? And it's just something where it's a fucking gamble. If you're a gambler, you have to take a risk, and it's kind of what this shit is. That's what it is. Am I wrong or am I right, Joe?
No, you're 100% right. I mean, but aside from wild caught or farm bred, captive hatch, captive born, it doesn't matter. I mean, a snake can die for whatever reason. I had a Papuan taipan one time die of an enlarged heart. I mean, not wild caught, captive born here in the United States. Just over a year old, it died, and its sibling out of that clutch did as well. Same issue. And there's a lot of stuff out there that that I won't sell anymore. Unless it's because it's just not worth the hassle. Even though you can sit there and drill to somebody, okay, look, this animal needs this care, this, and this. To me, it's not worth the headache over something that where they're not prepared for it, and then it's just going to cause me a headache,
Not prepared for it, man. And that's the problem, is people who aren't prepared for it get involved, and then they take it personal, and then they go on a fucking page and start a hate posse, right? And listen, I'm going to go ahead and bring it up. I'm not going to, name drop anyone. I'm not here to slander or badger. And
you don't got to name drop. I mean, it's all out there,
I came to the plate yesterday. I was pretty hyped up because I came to the plate because there's a couple pages. Well, actually, there's only one page that I'm really a part of, or was a part of. And I'm now no longer a part of it. Now I got booted, but
that's that culture cancel or cancel culture, whatever they call it, right?
Right. Yeah. I don't even know. So regardless, all I'm saying is I've seen what I've seen as far as people posting snakes purchased from Joe. They post it, and then there's always somebody, with their experience. And listen, that's valid. If you want to share that you had a bad experience with Joe, that's fucking cool, right? Everyone should go and say what you got to say, right? But then when somebody has a positive thing to say, or if somebody has other than a negative thing to say about Joe, and then it just gets deleted. Like, it's
Well,
not valid. It's kind of like, that's fucked up. I mean, that's some serious communist shit. Like,
that's just how it is these days. I mean,
no, it's not. But it shouldn't be. I don't care. Like, listen.
I agree.
No, I don't, bro. I mean, you have to kick me out of the page, I guess, if you don't want me to, speak up what I got to speak up. But listen, at the end of the day, there's a lot. After I got deleted, Joe, there was a lot of people who were still trying to share their story. They were like, man, I mean, there was Randy, I think Thaddeus, right? I think did I say it? Man,
Yep.
There's a few people, man, that just listen. At the end of the day, it shouldn't just be all about negativity and slandering. There should be story. There's always two sides of every story, but there also should be like two different experiences, right? Or just different experiences in general. Okay, but I will say this, Joe. After you saw what I was pretty heavy. Look, I don't want to say this guy got to me, but the situation itself of me getting deleted and the comments not there, that kind of pissed me off, I guess. Okay, I'll admit it. I'll say it. I admit it, right? I had some stuff I had to get off my chest on my stories. It probably seemed like I was really upset, but I was just passionate to give that stuff out. And I really was, because listen, I was just trying to spit some facts. I wasn't over here trying to say that Joe Switalski has a fucking JD Morgan or what is it, fucking JD Power customer service. Like I'm all I was saying is like I've had plenty of good luck with Joe with the animals that I had, and it got torn down.
Well, I mean, I think the problem is that, you have somebody who's, self-proclaimed expert, and I think they've only been keeping green tree pythons, from what someone said. I mean, what, for 2 years? I mean, dude, I had more than 2 green tree pythons by the time I was 14. I mean, I've seen more green tree pythons in my life than half the people that sit there and chirp back and forth on on these pages all day. And, that's the thing. I mean, hey, everybody's entitled to an opinion.
I'm not gonna let one person diminish the view I have on the entire community, because I will say, man, I know some sick ass mofos in the Conjure community, and I have their respect, and I'm like, I'm so thankful I have a lot of their respect, and I want to keep that, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, Joe, is after yesterday, right? I had some people that I respected come to me, and they had their own story to share. Like they had their what they had to say to me, right? And they wanted to tell it to me, like if I didn't already know or have heard these things of stuff that you've done apparently, or how whatever the case is, right? So I ride with you because I respect you of what we do, and I know what you do, and I know the game that we're in, period, right? But what they want to know, or what the whole thing is like, there's people out there with big money, bro, and they know you have shit that nobody else has. Plain and simple. That's why people will always buy from Joe Switalski, because he gets in shit that you don't have a choice. If you want what you want, it's going to come from Joe. But you have these other guys who would literally spend so much money with you if you were taking care of them the right way. Now,
here's my take on that.
All right,
I can care less, who has what money or whatnot, or who wants to do whatever, because at the end of the day, it's the people who are loyal and that have been there, and they buy it. It's funny, the people that I've been doing business for were just guys like you. I mean, they just started buying stuff, and you had one. I remember seeing the biggest thing all these years. Oh, you can't breed an imported female green tree python. You got to acclimate it for at least 3 to 5 years.
Nope.
I mean, I can just go down the list on how many people who have gotten either pairs or a male or female that ended up breeding one that they had.
I'm telling you, both Chapo.
El Chapo. Shout out to El Chapo and El Chapo
2.0. R.I.P. to little Chapo, but Chapo 2.0 is here, and he's both came from shit from Joe, man. So what are you gonna do?
I mean, I think one of the biggest pleasures that I enjoy seeing is when people get animals from me, and they breed them themselves. Whether it's customers with green tree pythons, green tree monitors, Steven with his scrub python. I think the male came from me.
Oh my God, you ready? Can we just do this little honor for your boy real quick? Oh,
let's do it. There we go, man. Look at him.
There's
Look at
the king. Excalibur of the scrubs, bro. You are looking at the future of scrub pythons in the United States right there, all because it came from Joe Switalski.
Nah, man. He'll probably just get burnt out and start a fish collection, or start falconing like all people do when they get fed up with reptiles.
Our boy's never getting fed up, dog. He's on it. He's like a Dave Weathers with the scrubs, bro. He's just kind of
Steve's on it, man. I mean, it's he's got a good thing going over there. It kind of reminded me like when I was 21 when I first bred my Death Adders, and I mean to me that was cool. It was like, hey, I just bred Death Adders, So it's it's always cool when you see people that get an animal from you and they're having huge success with it. And, at the end of the day, I always want people to be successful, and but unfortunately, there's a side of business where not everybody's gonna like you or like the way you do something, and I mean sometimes there's just nothing you can do about that. I mean, it's a double-edged sword. You can't be friends with everybody because you know how that ends up. It's just it's that's the one side of it. I mean, it's just business, man, and it's like unfortunately, if you get a snake, or let's say, Mike, let's say you ship me a snake, I spend $1,200 with you on it, and let's say it dies, a month later or whatever, and you can't find a cause of death. Well, there's people out there that would be, they'd be mad at you till the end of the day. Till the end of time for it, and you can't control that.
You really can't.
You can't. What was it? Just last year, I had a friend get in some Bushmasters, and he hooked me up with one. So and this was an import that came in. It was probably like a yearling size one, and when I got it, I said, hey, this snake's going to be dead, in less than 24 hours. He's like, what are you talking about? I said, it's got pink belly disease. Whoever was keeping it too humid, and Bushmasters are extremely susceptible to this one disease that affects them. It's a fungal disease. It's called pink belly disease in Bushmasters. Dean Repa did a whole research on it, but man, Bushmasters get it. I'd probably say it's 90% fatality rate.
Hey, is this your homegirl right here? She's trying to roast.
What's up?
Is this your homegirl right here? She's trying to roast.
Who, Janet?
Yeah.
Listen, I told her to subscribe to my fans only page. So if she doesn't want to do that, then hey man, I'm out trying to get back to fishing and snake hunting. So I'm just I'm in Everglades City. Look it up on a map. It's like it's out in the middle of nowhere, bro.
I know Janet. Jeez. No, shout out to Janet Lee. Janet's sick as fuck. That's a homegirl right there.
Oh yeah, I mean Janet's the truth, man. I mean another vet that knows her shit. I mean has awesome animals. Is humble. Not out there for all the likes and comments, which is social media these days. So you got to give respect to people like that.
Yeah, we had a sick interview. We had a sick interview on the Unfiltered Reptiles podcast. The link in the description below. But check it out. Janet keeps some really sick ass fucking croc monitors, retics, bunch of shit.
Oh yeah,
packing some heat, bro.
She's got basins. She's got basins. She's got chondros.
Bowline eye.
A lot of stuff. She's got her bowline eye.
Does she have a bowline eye from you?
No.
All right. Thought I was tripping.
Mm-mm. She's gotten a couple basins from me and some crocs, but that's the extent of that. Oh, and she likes and she's packing some serious heat. So I feel bad for anybody that tries to fuck with her because she's gonna pull that Desert Eagle out and split somebody in two.
Yeah, she's like, what? She said what? And I thought we pissed her off at first. I was like, oh fuck, and I got to edit this. And then she was like, oh thanks. So I was like, all right, cool. Janet's our girl. That's our girl. Right on, bro. So, all right, man. So basically, so we can just move on from this fucking shit. Your disclosure with going through a purchase with you, and it's an import. What's What's your disclosure to everyone who should buy from you?
And we talked about this on the very first episode that we all did back in December. When I got animals from Forrest, I quarantine him. It's nothing against him, but God forbid if I got something from Forrest, and let's just say it had something that he didn't know about, and then just by the stress of shipping it down here, I just throw it in my collection. I mean, you can have something running rampant. And I tell everybody, it doesn't matter where you get the animal from. You quarantine it. If there's an issue, you take care. You take care of it.
Yeah.
Obviously, if it's a pre-existing issue or something like that, that's different. But if you're dealing with if you're dealing with imports on whatever, you got to know what you're doing. And a lot of it's just leave it alone. There's too many people that get imported snakes, and they're sitting there setting up fucking cameras and video cameras in their chondro cages. And I'm sitting there like, are you crazy? Like, why do you have a camera in a neonate chondro bin? I mean, that just blows my mind. Leave the damn thing alone.
For real. That's like,
God, dude, it's like I see it and I just like cringe. I'm like, these animals are surviving, perfectly in the wild without, cameras, in their trees. So I don't know, man. It's just times change with everything with herpetoculture, and it's just a new era, with people, the way they do things. I never thought I would see the day where someone has a Savannah monitor set up and there's a camera so they can, watch it the whole day. To each his own, whatever.
Yeah. And I guess that's what, listen, at the end of the day, man, when you're doing shit like that, you're doing it for yourself, not because the animal thrives better. If anything, you're just giving a distraction for the animal or whatever. But
true, but also too, don't preach just because, something works for you. Don't get on a high horse.
Oh my God,
don't get on a high horse when you don't have the experience and to back it up and sit there and preach, because that's the worst type. Whether you're into guns or fishing or any type of hobby, don't preach if you don't have the experience. Sit down, shut the fuck up,
get your experience.
Be humble, and just learn like everybody else does. We all learn something new every day. Bottom line.
This is why, like, I just delete questions like this in my inbox now, because people ask me try to ways around either getting bit or just simple shit that you need to find that on your own type of shit, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, bro, whatever I do just works for me, but at the end of the day, I found out through my own experience. Why don't you just fucking figure it out? Or it could even be just as simple as where it's actually you could Google this and Google will give you the right answer type of thing. And it's like, dude, are you that fucking lazy to where you just can't research this?
It's what? Part of it's laziness, and part of it is just, everybody wants the glory of, let's say having that croc monitor or that, green tree python. They don't want to take the time to do the research. They just want it all spoon fed to them so they could go out, buy the snake, and they think they got it down, but they don't, I just see stuff where it's like, you gotta have an emerald at this, this exact temperature, this exact humidity. And I'm just sitting there, I laugh. I'm like, you ever been to the rainforest? Like,
yeah,
I've caught Corrales, Ruschenberger eye. Eyelash vipers in the wild in Costa Rica. It's humid in the jungle, but it's not constant 88.2.
No, it fluctuates.
Of course it fluctuates.
Yeah, that's why I don't understand straight baking and shit. I'm just like, dude, it's not like this. Doesn't the snake move around? Doesn't air flow in? I'm just like, I don't know. There's just things I think where I'm like, that doesn't make sense. I feel like the wild is way different than what, like I said, I fucking turned heat off in my snake trap for the most part, unless something's gravid for the last 3 years. Cause I'm like, why do fuckers put a 90-degree hotspot in a ball python's tub? I don't understand that. That's nuts. That's why their eggs look like shit and all this stuff happening to them. The damn snake's eyes down here. The other one's over there. And I'm like, bro, maybe you're just running too much heat. Like, why don't you just chill out? Like, I don't know. Like,
I always believe less is more. You know, when you get an animal, you know, set it up, let it, don't rush it. You know, don't stick a camera in its face and get, just let it adapt, and that's the biggest thing. Everybody, that they get something and they want to automatically go flex it. Just let it.
You want to know the truth? You want to know the truth about some shit?
Yeah.
I'm like 99.8% sure I'm the reason why I only got one chondro out of that clutch this year, because I checked in on it too much. I fucked with the temps too much. I was worried about keeping something at the straight temp the whole time. That's just and my hope, Socrates. I've been talking to Socrates, and Socrates thinks the same thing, because I was too fucking concerned about it, bro. If I would have just,
it could be. I had a friend do that about 10 years ago when he had a whole furrow clutch of beaded lizards, and he kept finger fucking them every day, lifting the lid. Well, out of that whole clutch, there was one that hatched out, and he learned his lesson from that.
I fucking and you know what's funny is, like, I didn't do that last year with Lil Chapo. Lil Chapo came from a shit clutch. Like, the lady, the female, the female just dropped them all over the place. And Lil Chapo was at one little strong age, which he was tiny. He was nowhere near the size of Chapo. No, this fool was like tiny, but he took off the first offer, all sorts of crazy shit. But I don't know, it's fucking wild, bro.
Yeah, no, I mean, I that's just one of my things, like, if something lays eggs, dude, set it, forget it. Check it once a week, check the humidity. As long as the egg looks good and the temperature's good and, there's not condensation dropping on stuff, just let it be.
I set the temp inside the incubator at a certain temp and just left it. I remember I never fucked with it. The only thing I did in Little Chapo's egg tub was I, like, towards the end, I kind of gave it some ventilation, which I heard was kind of good. Which, dude, like I said, it worked out, because I remember I looked at that egg probably once or twice during the whole term. I just left it alone. And I didn't do that this year for whatever reason. I think maybe Corona had me fucking overthinking and shit. Being home,
I think Corona's done a lot of brain damage to people, unfortunately.
For real.
I mean, this is, these are people that don't have it, so. I mean, I guess when you're bored sitting at home, scared to go outside, I mean, it's going to have an effect on you somehow, some way.
I'm not even scared to go outside. I just don't like people. I don't mind being home.
Stay away from people, man. Stay away from crowds, and you'll be good.
I'm getting better at the whole liking people thing. Listen, I like the people who watch this damn channel. I'll tell you that much. Everyone who's in the comments, everyone who's been fucking with this show, everyone who's fucking with Joe Switalski. You do have a lot of positivity going on in the comments. I will say that. So that's sick.
What's up?
What about breeding, bro? Like, what do you have? You were talking about your personal stuff, right? You do have your own personal collection. Let's kind of talk about that. Like, what do you have going on that side?
Well, I've been waiting like any day now for this Christmas phase eyelash viper to drop. I mean, she's as huge as a house. She's going to be dropping anytime now. Probably when I get back. When I get back home. Eyelash vipers. I have those. I also work with. Obviously I have Bushmasters. They're not going to be of age till next year. I have various species of Bothrops, Porthidium, pygmy rattlesnakes. I'm trying to think, I have my own scrubs, I have Moluccan pythons, it's just, stuff like that, and a lot of stuff that I breed, I just throw it together. If it breeds, it breeds, if it doesn't, it doesn't. Hey, whatever, it is what it is. I mean, but, there's still nothing better, than walking into the snake room and, seeing a whole cage full of eyelash vipers or,
bro, it's so sick too. Hold on, I think I got a sick ass pic. But bro, yeah, man. I mean, first off, this is probably one of the hardest thumbnails, right? Fucking.
That's one of my Honduran palm vipers, Bothriechis marchi. They're probably one of the rarest. They're definitely one of the rarest. Out of that species to own. And prior to this past December, when I was lucky enough to get permits and get a group, out of from down there, there was probably I'd probably say less than 10 in the whole country.
Okay.
Probably less than 5. Now there's more than 10, and they're in the right hands between 3 very good friends of mine. So hopefully between the group of us, we'll be able to breed them and produce babies and stuff, and that way they won't be so damn expensive anymore.
All right, what about this one, bro? Let's talk about this one, bro. Oh my god, this thing is
Sri Lankan palm vipers. They're cool. It's another.
They're cool. What do you mean? This thing is so sick, bro.
It's sick. But you know what, man? I've had so many of them over the years. Whether I'm getting them in, it's just they're cool and they're awesome. They get, females get really big. It's definitely your typical Asian arboreal. Females get big, males get a little smaller, but they're just very good at display animals.
You don't fuck with them, period.
I keep trim trigs. It's just I don't have a gazillion of them, but a pair, 2 pairs. Yeah, that's nice. And plus too, the venomous market, it's not what it used to be. It's venomous market's a lot different. You got a lot of people out there that they want this, but when you tell them the price on something, they're like, oh well, shit, I used to pay $100 for an eyelash viper 10 years ago. Well, yeah, we all did, but times change and prices and stuff goes up, and unfortunately that's just what happens. And I guess some people just don't know how to get with the times. It's the same thing with Indonesian animals. Oh, well, 5 years ago I used to pay this. Well, yeah, dude, 12 years ago I was getting Exanthic class to Lesbicin, and I couldn't sell them for $350. Nobody wanted them. Exanthic scrub pythons, nobody wanted. Regular Moluccan pythons, nobody wanted.
Now everyone's fucking what for them, and they're just like,
bro,
sick.
Dude, southern black white lips. Up until 2 years ago, when the supply just kind of dropped off on them, there was one. It was the fall of 2016, bro. I think I had 12 neonates that I raised up from the summer that were now eating hopper-sized mice. You couldn't get rid of them, bro. Nobody wanted them. Now everybody wants them.
For reals. And the one who's packing the most fucking, like I said, bro, this motherfucker is not fucking around, bro. This guy has the heat, dog. I'm telling you, he has the heat. He really does.
Actually, a friend of mine actually bred the southern white lips this year, and he hatched out a nice clutch. Ryan Young at molecular reptiles. Ryan hatched them out, and he had a nice, big, beautiful clutch, and it was great seeing that. Because that's it's definitely a hard snake to breed, and Ryan does have a lot of success with the
Ryan Young.
Ryan Young, yep.
He's a stew. Right? Shout out to you. Hey, shout out to Ryan Young. That fool is.
Oh yeah, man. He also produced Northerns this year too.
I got a pair. And then Little Novi got one fucking coming from Ryan Young as well. What up, Novi? Hey, shout out to Little Novi. She's the one that told me that Ryan Young had some white lips available, and I was able to snag a pair off this fool because of her. So we're just waiting for them to get dialed in. I think they finally just got their first meal, which I heard they're hard to get dialed in, bro. Apparently, I heard it's not easy getting white lips to go. I don't know.
Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Sometimes they need a little bit of sanding with quail. Just like the Bolin's pythons. Sometimes you got to get Bolin started on day-old quail or whatnot. But Ryan's a great guy, very humble, very low key.
Very low key.
He's not about the social media likes and all that stuff. And it shows. The people that are the most successful are the ones that are low key. The ones that are just sitting there yapping. Okay, cool. You have 4 snakes in your collection. Big fucking deal.
I was gonna say, I yap, but I got way more than 4 snakes.
and you've bred stuff, and you've bred chondros. So you can flex a little bit, bro. You've done your stuff.
I'm just trying. I always, every time I do, what I mean. You know who I am, bro. I've actually calmed down a lot. I'm getting better. I'm trying to get better. But all I hear every time.
Man, my best thing, just be you, bro. Because there's no point. You're never gonna make any. You can never make everybody happy. So just be you.
Look, I want to make my wife happy. I want to make my fucking the plug happy. I want to just make people in my life happy, right? I want to keep. Listen, one thing I didn't want to do, and I almost was about to do it, but I got a fucking legit phone call from the big homie. I'm not going to mention his name or anything, but I got a fucking sick ass call from the homie, and he got me to fucking just kind of not approach this fucking show with so much anger, because I don't want to fucking spread anger on this show. I don't. Even Joe, even Doug, Joe, you're a really calm individual when shit hits the fan for you. I will say, I come to you way more hyped up than you are. Sure.
I've learned to, you know, kind of take that, you know, kind of keep that edge off a little bit, because, you know, I mean, sometimes, you know, someone will deserve it. Sometimes you just got to bite your tongue, but I mean, honestly, man, you keep biting your tongue anymore, it's gonna fall off one day.
I don't. My tongue is healthy. I don't bite my shit at all. But listen, the only reason why, like I said, I mean, I'm not trying to bring up the whole matter again. But listen, everybody should have their word. Like we're not in a communist state where it's like, nope, you're kicked out of the group because you want to share a positive experience. Like that's
I mean, that's chicken shit. You know, power tripping. I mean, whatever. You know, I mean, if somebody wants to have a group and, you know, they feel superior because, you know, they got X amount of snakes and, you know, they're just there for whatever reason. I mean, hey, if they got that time, God bless them. I wish them the best.
I'm gonna drop it after this, dude. I'm really gonna drop it after this, but
who is that?
Just put your mind together. Put 2 and 2 together.
I mean, I honestly don't.
I'm not here to drop names. If you could just read the meme and just put 2 and 2 together. If you can't figure it out, I'll tell you after the episode. But
I mean, yeah, I honestly don't know. I mean, obviously it's a keeper of some sort, but I mean, who knows? You know, I mean, insignificant to me, but whatever. You know,
irrelevant, right? But a wise man.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
A wise man speaks because he has something to say. A fool speaks because he has something to say. This guy makes no sense. Is all I got to say. It makes no fucking sense.
Hey man, I don't follow the Facebook pages, you know, religiously. So, you know, I don't even know. I think what you told me yesterday, or I think one of y'all sent me a screenshot where, you know, I'm not welcome. I mean, damn, that really hurt my feelings. You know?
Hey, listen, I got threatened for a last warning if I don't, you know, stop bringing you up, basically. Okay, so warn me. You're gonna warn me. Okay, that's fucking cool. What are we in fucking?
That's that cancel culture, man. I mean, it's. Listen, everybody wants to, you know, whatever, man. Like I said, I can care less. You know, it's funny though because, you know, I kind of laugh when, you know, when a thread will pop up, you know, like that, and then you just got, you know, people that are just, you know, that I don't even know. I mean, it's easy for me. I have records, you know, going back 10 years. All I got to do is type someone's name in my email, and it'll pull up whether if I've ever done business with them or not. When you get people saying stuff, you're like, wait, I don't even know this person. Like, I never even sent them an animal, and, you know, you'll just have them running their mouths about something. But hey, man, it's easy to sit behind a computer and say stuff. You know, you're not going to make everybody happy. It is what it is. But the two best things that come from that is when that happens, it always seems like just like the next couple hours to like the next week, sales just go through the roof, you know, because then people start reaching out and they're just like, oh man, you know, this guy is not, you know, they'll see other people's comments and it's just like, next thing you know, sales just go through the roof. And then, you know, then after that, then you just got, you know, then you got people asking about stuff. And then, you know, then they'll hit you up down the road for something later. They get it and they're real happy.
I mean, there's no such thing as bad marketing at the end of the day. Marketing,
you know, it's
dropping your name. They're dropping your name. They're like, oh, what is this guy? What does this guy have? Oh shit! Next thing you know,
I mean, look, like I said, bro. I mean, I got so much going on in my life to where if I sat there at the computer every day, you know, harping about MJ or harping about, you know, you name it, like the fact that you got to bring someone's name up like that, it's either, you know, you got a man crush on them or, I mean, I don't know, bro. It's crazy. But then the funny thing is too, is like, you know, you'll have people that'll chime in on there. Well, next thing you know, I'm getting messages or text messages or emails, whatever, or sometimes all of them from the same people who are saying stuff. And I'm like, wait a second, were you just calling me this, but now you're wanting to get this? I'm like, that's weird, but that's okay.
Like, listen, moving forward, we're going to move forward now. Fuck it. This it
Oh,
is
you know,
what it is.
I got one more shout out I got to give to a good friend of mine. She's a fantastic keeper, and she bred a real hard to do. I mean, it's just a species that's very hard to acclimate, and I mean, they have straight up tortured her. But she did it. She did it. What was it, a month ago? Alexa Shimshoyan. She bred the Amazonian whip snake, aka the machete sabine snake, and she got I think like 6 or 7 good eggs from him.
Who's this person?
Alexa Shimshoyan. She breeds blood pythons, and now she just bred a snake that people don't have good luck with keeping alive, let alone breeding them. And she stayed with the course, and she kind of did the less is more approach, and she got a nice healthy clutch that I think they'll be probably hatching next month, something like that. So it's always good to see people breeding the rare obscure species that everybody says, oh, it always dies. Well, she did what she was doing, and she got rewarded.
Yeah, good for her. Hell yeah,
absolutely.
That's sick as fuck. Now let's pick your brain on some other shit. Let's talk about the laws and stuff. I know we talked about some stuff that we want to talk about. My homie Brandon had something he wanted to bring up and mention the Florida ban.
Okay.
And if you're doing anything apart, like, are you a part of anything that's like
right now? There is a lot. Okay, Florida is unique on 2 fronts. First off, Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission has the sole authority they're the sole authority on the wildlife trade and ruling over wildlife. Right. So what happened with the Senate bill, we've had these senators every year. They just bitch to Fish and Wildlife. Well, as the time has gone on, there's a lot of there's over the years the people that were in captive wildlife and with Florida Fish and Wildlife, they've long gone and since retired now. And now you have this new crop of people coming in, and I mean they're essentially card carrying PETA members. Okay. It's just absolutely crazy. And as the bill stands now, you can't import green iguanas into the state anymore. You can't sell them out of state, which I don't sell them or deal with them, but I mean there's people out there that do, and they make a lot of money on doing it. So why should they get punished when, I mean, dude, green iguanas have been living in Florida probably since the 60s. They ain't going away, dude. Unless we get snow for a couple months, they're not going away. And tegus are, I mean, I'm not, they're a direct, issue from the pet trade. People get them as babies, they raise them up, and, not everybody can handle, a 3 to 4 foot tegu. And if they don't work with it, it's going to be a nasty animal, and they'll dump them, and that's what happened. And so you get these state legislators, and they just caused a lot of issues. So they passed Senate Bill 1414 this last month, and that effectively they went around FWC's constitutional authority with wildlife. So technically, that law is not even valid. So there's like 4 or 5 of like the real big guys here in Florida in the industry that actually just filed a lawsuit yesterday against the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission. So we'll see how that pans out. Which looking at it from I mean, obviously from someone being in the industry as a hobbyist too, you look at it and it's like, okay, I'm sure FWC in the past has been more than willing to work with the industry on certain issues. But a lot of those people are gone now, and now you're dealing with a bunch of, essentially PETA members, and so we'll see, But there's good people involved in the fight. There's there's a lot of good attorneys, and they're in it for the long haul. So, I mean that's one thing. I mean everybody's always willing to to help and make concessions, but when you go through and do an unconstitutional ruling like that, which essentially it is, we'll see in courts.
Yeah, I hope it pulls through, bro. I mean, we'll see. It's like a day by day thing. So, now
No, and that's the thing. And, you know, there's officers here in the state of Florida that, I mean, they're just shaking their heads at this, and they're like, you know, what the hell is this? Like, I mean, how, you think they're going to go up and start giving little kids tickets that have an iguana? Get the fuck out of here, man. That'd be a disgrace to the badge. You know, it's hopefully, well, I mean, I'm talking all this shit now. I'll probably get my fucking door kicked in, you know, next week or something, but
Bam! Taking the show.
But nah, you know, it's I mean, but you know, there's you know, that's the thing, you know, there's good officers out there. There's good officers that, you know, that try to help, you know, with the community and stuff. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, they still got a job to do. So you know, if you're caught slipping, you know, you're going to get a ticket, and that's just how it goes.
Now you are smart. I mean, I know that you do know some wildlife rangers and shit. Like you're in on that. Like, you know the scoop on shit when shit goes down or if it's about to go down. Am I wrong or am I right?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I've known, you know, I mean, that's the thing, you know, the inspectors, you know, the captive wildlife investigators are, you know, are law enforcement officers, which, you know, specialize in the, you know, in the wildlife trade. So, you know, anybody that holds, you know, class 1, class 2, class 3, and venomous permits and conditional, you know, they get a visit, you know, twice a year or more if, you know, they're getting complaints. You know, from them. So, you know, you build a relationship with them over time on, you know, just professional courtesy. So, you know, there's times where, you know, I mean,
damn. Hold on, you just brought up a good point. Say that again about professional what? Say that one more time. What?
Professional courtesy?
I feel like if that was brought to you a lot more often, like, right? Am I right? Like, if people would approach you correctly a lot of times, it would be a different outcome. Am I wrong? Am I right?
I mean, that's just, I mean, that should be, you know, being courteous should be the way of life, you know, to anybody, you know, I mean,
Period.
Exactly. You know, I'm not a prick to someone unless you know, they deserve it. And you know me, man, it takes a pretty good pushing to you know, for that to happen. But you know, I mean, everybody just, I don't know. It's, again, you know, I try to, you know, stay away from that and get away from the negativity part of the
I hear you.
You know, there's a lot of good officers down here that, you know, I mean, it's getting to the end of the ones that actually know what they're doing. I mean, you know, there's some guys to where, I mean, dude, you won't believe how many times I've been out in the Everglades and, you know, they're like, you know, they'll stop you and they're like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, we're out, you know, catching snakes. And, you know, it's like, they're like, oh, well, what'd you catch? And, you know, you show them a picture of a pygmy and they're like, oh, is that a diamondback? And I'm like, oh man, it's like, dude, scary. I mean, there was a U.S. park ranger in Everglades National Park back in 2013. He, you know, I'm sure he had minimal training with handling of venomous reptiles, but, you know, Everglades National Park is loaded with diamondbacks. And at the ranger's quarters, there was like a 5-footer that was like going in front of one house, and he went to go pick it up. So he picked it up by the tail, went to go put it in the bag. The snake doubled up over it, got him on the hand, and Venom 1 had to land on Main Park Road in Everglades National Park to save this ranger's life because he wouldn't have made it out of there alive.
Right.
And you know, it's just all about, you know, training and knowing the stuff. But there's just a lot of guys that, you know, they're not taught that. They're not taught, you know, they're taught the basics. They're not taught, you know, the advanced stuff on, you know, on what comes into the country and what's around and, you know, what's being kept by people. So
it's kind of like it's like the doctor fucking not knowing what to do when you get bit by a snake that's not from here. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty wild. Yeah. Like, you literally, like, I mean, what you graduated high school? Like, how far did you go in school?
College.
So you went to college. 4 years in college. What did you go to school for?
Ironically enough, criminal justice. I wanted to be a fish and wildlife officer. Then I realized the pay wasn't that good.
Right, which obviously, you went to school for something you're not using, right? But if you think about,
I first started out, you know, zoology, you know, and then that's when I realized I was like, okay, that's really bad because, you know, you ain't getting paid shit, and that, you know, that's a damn shame because, you know, zoos are so important to, you know, the conservation of many animals and also teaching people. It's sad what they can only afford to pay keepers. It's really sad.
Yeah.
Because it's ridiculously low. So.
Right. All right. Well, listen, I want to talk about this real quick. I don't think I've ever clarified, or maybe I just didn't catch it. I do smoke a lot. So, but man, I don't think we clarified the whole you and Forrest like meeting for the first time, like the introduction, like how the fuck did you guys even become the Kobe and Shaq basically?
Well, let's see. I was introduced to Forrest by a mutual friend of ours, Cody Bartolini. Cody is
Cody. Shout out to Cody. Damn.
Shout out to Cody. I think he's got his own podcast going tonight. But
does he? Well, I need to get him on. We're supposed to get him on Unfiltered, but we got to make sure we have like a 5-hour slot for him.
No, you need an 8-hour minimum plus at least.
I'm down. Listen,
if you tell him 9 o'clock, it's going to be 10:30 when he rolls on.
That's some Forrest shit. I mean, but Forrest was actually good with like I had to press him because he'd be like, oh, like literally 10 minutes before we go live, he's like, oh, let's push it out an hour. I'm like, bro, it's live. I'm not pushing nothing out an hour. And he didn't get to the point where I'm like, Steven, you better be there because I'm about to go live. And Steven like, all right, I'll be there. And then every time we would hit live, he would probably be no more than 2 minutes late, but he would show up.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, so Cody, so how I first met Forrest was back in early 2016. Cody messaged me and he's like, hey, a friend of mine's going to hit you up. He's a good friend of mine. He's like a brother to me. I've known him for years. He wants some of those Jackson's tree snakes that you have, the Thraceops Jacksoni. So Forrest hits me up and we start talking. And, you know how enthusiastic Forrest is. I mean, when he wanted something, I mean, he went in, bro. Like, he didn't just get one pair or two pair.
No question. Ask questions
6
later.
or 7 pairs.
Ask questions later. Let's get it now. Let's get it. Hurry up before somebody else gets it. Boom.
Exactly, man. And he just he was like me. He just has the love and the desire for the rare and exotic stuff that the challenging stuff that not a lot of people have or not a lot of people keep. And man, we just hit it off. He was on my length in terms of intelligence. With he knew what he was doing. Bro. He knew other people that I knew, and we just hit it off like that. And he was definitely one of my closest friends in this business, and that's saying a lot because I can count on one hand on how that is, and the world's definitely a lesser place. That he's and herpetology as a whole, just lost a huge figure with his untimely passing, and hopefully there's just other people that just pick up the torch and keep on doing his thing and keep on doing a lot, keeping that dream alive, that zoo dream alive, because I'll tell you right now, man, I've been in this a long time. I started out, in this and, growing up around people down here. I've never met anybody as enthusiastic and as dedicated as Forrest Fanning was, bar none.
Hands down.
I mean, that dude. I mean, the talks that we had at times, and there was one time when he came down by himself, and then he bought Kush down the last time. I mean, it was just we all had a blast, and unfortunately, it was short, and with him being busy, running Cold Blooded Cafe and running his own thing, and me being busy, we always didn't have the time to connect to do stuff. But I told him after his son Lars was born, I said, man, you got to bring him down to Florida. We got to take him out snake hunting, South Florida style. And we had all that shit planned, man. And the craziest thing was I talked to him I think like that Friday or Thursday, and we were talking about something like that, and we were complaining about something, and he's like, yeah, it's fucked up. I don't even have a boat, and this motherfucker has a boat, and he's like, I work too damn hard, and I said, no, I feel you, man. I said, hey, bro, just go get yourself a boat. He's like, no, I think I fucking am, and unfortunately, things didn't go that way, and so I told Des recently, I said, hey, you got to bring nephew down so I could take him out in the boat and let him catch his first python or something,
Bro, it's gonna happen sooner than later. I mean, the guy's already running the fucking reptile room at RepTech. He's fucking.
I know. I see him. I I see him running
looking
around,
at
man.
stuff, and he's like, nope, all right, we're good, dude. I think I hate seeing into the future because we're getting old, bro. Like it's, you know what I mean? But I could just see this motherfucker 10 years old, just fucking literally just hammering shit and just fucking getting to work, bro. Like,
yeah,
Force is here still. We still got a piece of Force. I'll tell you that right now. With Desiree's attitude, which is even better. So, but it's gonna be awesome because listen, at the end of the day, I mean, I'm just saying, RepTech is not to fuck with. RepTech has so many sick ass animals. We all know about the Abronia game. Oh yeah, Abronia. You put Force on some Abronia. Am I wrong or right? Let's talk about the Abronia real quick.
Yeah, I mean, we both kind of put each other on that, you know, because Abronia just started becoming all the rage, you know, probably about 10 years ago down here. They started popping up, and you know, there's a lot of people that had them, and yeah, you know, Forrest got some from me, and I got some from him, and you know, they're cool animals. You know, they're definitely cool. You got to keep them, you know, obviously in Montana.
Yeah, low temp, super low temp. I had a guy selling one down here in southern San Diego, like almost like an Imperial Beach, basically, with 5 minutes from Mexico, like right down there. And I was gonna buy it. It was a nice one of those blue ones. I forget the name of them.
That's just a Bronia Gramina. That's one that's been in captivity. That's
common,
it loses its you know natural color.
But Forrest had just died like 2 weeks before that, and I couldn't believe that there was one available. So I flipped out, and I was like, I gotta get it. And Desiree's like, hey, here, I'll send you a cage for it. But I was like, dude, wait a minute. Like my house, there's nowhere in my house unless we don't run AC. We're ghetto around here, so we don't run AC. So my house, there's nowhere where my house.
But you don't have AC out there?
We do, but I fucking, you know what I mean? I got enough bills. So I try to do, but we're in San Diego though. So the hottest it gets, bro, like is like fucking 90. That's literally the hottest it gets is 90. And
it was 90. I want to say 93. Then with the heat index, it felt like
but with the humidity, like disgusting. The humidity is probably like 92 or some shit like that. I don't know.
Oh man, when those storms come rolling in.
Ooh, see, we always have a breeze. We have a breeze, but then in any room that I keep my reptile, I mean, I could have kept it in the living room, but Lily already, since she gave me the designer room that I created, she's like, she X'd out any more reptiles, which I'm sure I could persuade, but I just didn't want to push it because I didn't want to have to fucking have
you gotta keep Mrs. J happy, because if she ain't happy, you're gonna be fucking miserable.
I feel you 100%. 100%. But yeah, so okay, the Bronia, you and Forrest put each other on basically with that. And then, I mean, dude, here's another thing that kind of made me mad, bro. I mean, not mad, but it was like, what? That's some bullshit. But apparently people thought that when Forrest was gone, you were going to be done because he was like your only main customer.
What?
Yeah. Apparently.
I guess you could chalk that up as fake news. I mean, Forrest was, I didn't look at him as a customer, and I looked at him as almost as like a brother I didn't have. I mean, that's the type of relationship we had. I mean, yeah, he bought it. He did buy animals from me because, he knows it's a business. But at the same time, I mean, you know how many times I've sent him shit, and they just open the box and I'm like, oh yeah, hey, by the way, here's this. I mean, that's just the type of relationship that I have with a few people, and
plain and
simple.
Yeah, I mean. He called you his best friend. You were, why? Nobody just says that for no reason. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I would say Cody's probably his best friend because they grew up, together out there in Nevada. I think they moved together here to Florida at the same time for a while. When Forrest was down here for a while, So I would say Cody was for sure, but it's I said, man, it's just a tragedy. It's just one of the worst things that is other than hearing the news when I was younger that Steve Irwin died. That was definitely
it's a lot. It's closer to home. You know what I mean? Like it's.
You just talk to him, and the thing is, we had so much shit planned to do this year. It's never gonna happen, and that's when you got to take a look at your own life, and you got to realize, like, look, man, if there's something you want. Or if there's something you want to do, go do it, because tomorrow's not promised.
It really isn't.
And
That's why,
it's
Forrest lived the way he lived because, like, I don't know, man. Like, there was no cap on what he was doing. Like, and everyone even looked around like, bro, this fool's nuts. Like, he just gets whatever the fuck he wants. And he was like straight Master P when he started No Limit. Like, No Limit.
Dude, one of the best conversations I'll always remember that I had with him. He called me one night. I was in the snake room. I think I just got done feeding. I just got done feeding all the eyelash vipers. I heard my phone ring twice, and I go and see, and I saw it's Forrest. I'm like, oh shit, that's kind of weird because he would call me, but usually he would just text me. So I'm like, damn, I hope everything's all right. So I hit him up back, and I'm like, yo, what's up, bro? He's like, dude, you know what, man? He's like, I'm fucking pissed. I'm like, what's wrong? I mean, it's 11 o'clock, our time, so we're like, dude, what happened? He's like, you know what, man? I'm sitting here on fucking Instagram, and I just see all these Kofi Island chondros that are solid fucking yellow in Indonesia. He's like, how do we get them? I'm like, dude, where were you in 2006 when they were coming in, pretty mainstream? I remember, I'll have to send you pictures of them later, Mike, but I had 3 that came in that went to a good friend of mine, Thomas, and they were solid yellow when they came in, and they stayed solid yellow until he sold them. I think he had them. Oh, I want to say that was 2006. I think he sold them, 2010, 2011, but they stayed yellow the whole time. But dude, Forrest was so mad that these people over in Indonesia, these hobbyists, were flexing these things. He called me. He's like, how the fuck do we get them?
He's like, bro, they're there. They're in the hub station of everything. Like,
well, exactly. I told him that, and I said, well, look, man. I said, if you really want to get them, here's what we do: fire up the G5 or the G6, whatever plane you want to take, and we got to take ourselves. To Jakarta. I said, because those things are they're few far in between. I mean, yeah, you'll have ones that'll come in that that might stay that'll come in yellow or have a lot of yellow, but they turn green, and you'll have yellow ones that'll be green for 3 or 4 years or more, and then just one day you walk in, the damn thing's green. So, that was one of. I mean, dude, he was so adamant on getting a collection of those. He's like, Joe, I don't care what it fucking is. I don't care how much it takes to get there. He's like, I don't care how much it takes for us to get them. He's like, we got to fucking get those. I mean, he was going off on this tangent. I said, all right. I mean, I'm like, dude, you know me, I'm down.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not one to miss out for a good time.
And Forrest was never just one to play either. Like, if he was really adamant about doing something, like, he's going to do it. He's kind of spur of the moment type of guy and would just dip.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like when he went to South Africa, it was cool. He sent me back a poster of, I think he went there with Brian.
Brian Barker.
He saw some cool stuff over there.
It was terrible. Like he ended up having a good experience, but like the whole journey for that was pretty bad. He told me. I remember he told me it was fucking pretty gnarly.
Yeah, didn't they have an issue with almost some like carjackers or some shit like that?
Yeah, I was gonna say they're like on this road, and I guess his friends like, you can't break down because if you break down for whatever reason, like
it's a road that leads into Johannesburg. So
so they ended up getting a flat tire, and they end up pulling over, and shit does to where they are stuck in that road where they're not supposed to be stuck in. And they, of course, Brian fucking vlogged it, and I mean, who fucking knows? I mean, it could have been fucking. I mean, dude. Brian's the fucking vlog king, and for whatever reason, something always crazy happens on his vlog. So who knows?
Hey man, I've been in some bizarre situations in Costa Rica over the years. I mean, I remember one time we're out road cruising and we're on the northern part of the Osa Peninsula, and my buddy who was with me at the time, he forgets his he not only does he forget his wallet, he forgets his fucking passport back where we're staying at. So here's these two dumbass white boys that are driving this Land Cruiser. We got a cruiser full of, what do we have in there bagged up to photograph for the next morning? We had I want to say 2 or 3 fertilances that were 4 to 5 foot. We had a coral snake, we had a tree boa, and we had a sustes. And so we're coming into this town of Palma Norte, and all of a sudden there's a border checkpoint. They have random checkpoints throughout the country. Right. And I said, oh, fuck. I'm like, oh, whatever. They're not going to care about this stuff. We're just, we're photographing it. So we pull up, and the, the two security guards. I mean, they're sitting there, they're armed with, M16s and stuff, and they're like, hey, what's going on, guys? They're like, oh, you got identification? I'm like, yeah, So I handed them my passport, and the one guy's looking in the back. He's like, what's in the bags? I said snakes. And I said, those 2 bags are fertilances. And he's like, no way, man, you're kidding. He's got obviously he's got a thick Spanish accent. He's like, no way, bro. He's like, you're kidding. You don't got fertilances in there. I said, no, sir, we do. And, so we showed him the boa. I'm like, yeah, we're just down here to get photographs, and, we're going to be doing a photo shoot in the morning with him. He's like, nah, he's like, those are the most poisonous snakes in the country. There's no way you have those. I said, no, they're definitely in there. And then the other guy went around to where Zach was sitting, and he asked for his identification, and Zach's just like, I left it back. And the guy's like, all right, well, we got a problem. He's like, because, we don't know, who you are, if you're here legally or what. And I'm just looking at Zach. I'm like, you fucking idiot, bro. Like, you're going to get us in jail, and you're going to get, like, one of these cops killed by these snakes if they don't believe us.
Yeah, they're going to get
So we're sitting there, and the cop's like, all right. He's like, I want to see what's in the bag. He's like, I don't believe you have those in there. I said, no, sir, we do. And he's like, okay, well, pull over. I'm like, okay. So I pulled over, and, now we have more, federale police coming out. And I'm just like, oh, fuck, this is not good. This is going to be an expensive bribe to get the hell out of this shit.
Yeah.
So we pull over, and I pull out the bags, and I tell the guys, I said, look, back away. Dude, that terciopelo hit the pavement, and I've never seen grown men run as fast backwards as these guys did. They're like, you fucking crazy gringos, what the fuck are you doing? We're just like, hey, that's what we come here for, I'm like, we're not. I'm like, some people come here and smuggle drugs. We're just here to photograph snakes, bro. Like, that's it.
Yeah, dude.
And
Mexicans, I mean, for the most part, Mexicans, they don't fuck with snakes. They don't want nothing to do with them. They feel like they're like a devil.
Well, I mean, it's Latin America in general. I mean,
Latin America. My bad. Sorry, Latin America. You're right.
There's a lot of, I mean, down there. I mean, they, terciopelos do, cause a lot of bites, and they kill a lot of people just because if you're remote and you get bit, chances of you living are slim to none. So anyway, after we get done showing the guy, the cops that, a couple of them, got pictures, and they kind of wanted to stunt with it a little bit, and so the one cop came back. He's like, all right. He's like, look, man. He's like, I believe you on that. He's like, but we still got to give your buddy a ticket for not having this and that. He's like, you could just give me $80 and everything's good to go.
Of course.
I said, $80. I said, bro, here's $100. He's like, all right, man.
Have a good night.
Dude, from that point on, we were down there another 3 months, 4 months. Every time we'd pass through there, we'd stop and talk to those guards and just straight up
chop it up.
Cut the shit with them. It was hilarious, man.
It's funny.
Like people would come by, and there's these 2 white boys just sitting there with, Costa Rican guards with, M16s and stuff. So it was a good trip. A lot of good memories.
That's nuts, man. That's some funny shit. Let's talk about one other memory real quick that I want to bring up. Where was this at? Look at young JS right there.
Oh man, that's young JS, bro. That was 2008. That was that was actually the last Daytona. No, that was the second to last Daytona show that I went to. That was after, I think it was like Tropical Storm Faye. I mean, she went over to the state of Florida like 3 days before that expo began and just dumped a ton of rain. And that was in Lake Woodruff National Wildlife Refuge. And I had a friend in town from Louisiana, and he's never seen a pygmy. So I took him out there, and here we are hiking around in fucking, knee-deep water looking for pygmies. And luckily, we found 2 that he got the photograph. But, yeah, that was crazy, man.
That looked like – what year was that?
Oh, that was 2008.
Damn, 2008, bro.
2008, man. That was,
I probably should have asked this a while ago, but what was the whole, like, when did JS Reptiles really become what it was now? Like, when did the whole importing shit, like, when did...
Well, I mean, I've had my import permit since I was, since 2005, 2006. I mean, I know there's some people out there that claim that I don't, but I think I posted it on my page like numerous times and said, oh, hey, if anybody wants a copy, feel free. Here you go.
I will say this. You know, somebody who I do look up to, or like, not that, you know, I respect him, right? He did talk to me, and that was one thing he brought up is like you don't have any licensing as far as import. So I wanted to bring that up too and see like what the fuck was that? That was
dude. I mean, like I said, I'll just go repost it on my page and all my information's there. You know, LE number, you know, port of clearance in Miami. I mean, it's all there. You know, I mean, so. I don't know. You know, rumors. You know, people just take up causes for every reason. I don't know. I don't control it. I don't care. I guess the stuff just magically comes. You know. I mean, there's like fucking Santa Claus out there or something. I don't know. I mean, who cares? You know, people. I mean, people act like, you know, like importing something is like a badge of honor. No, it's a fucking pain in the ass.
Hustle,
you know, you got to, you know, just deal with, you know, especially now, you know, with flights and, you know, with the whole, you know, coronavirus, you know. There's just limited flights from different countries, and you know something will be all set to go one day, and then it gets bumped to the next week or the next week, and it's just a pain in the ass, you know. So it's like it's not like it's some like badge of honor or some like high glory. It's whatever, you know. Is what it is, man.
Hey, what's the deal though, bro? I mean, I should probably talk about this off camera, but why am I competing with Andrew Acevedo with Timors? Why is this guy all of a sudden horny for Timors? What's going on?
You guys got like this like ongoing rivalry, and
no, we don't. Wait,
there's a rivalry going between Andrew Acevedo and Mike Juarez, man. And,
no, there's
like,
not.
I feel like I'm in the middle of it. And it's like I'm like, yo, man,
Andrew's my Excalibur. I look up to Andrew, bro. But if we're talking about Timors, sit the fuck down, bro. I'm just saying, bro. Listen. Okay, I want to talk about all. You know, I mean, I don't have all day to talk about fucking, and I don't want to talk about your time, but I don't want to talk about every fucking thriving snake I have from you, which is about 90 something plus. But I keep 10 fucking Timors. Okay, I think it's 7.3. Is it? No, it's 6.4. 6 males, 4 fucking females, all from Joe Switalski, every single one. Okay. All of a sudden, this guy's getting his hands on some fucking United States bread. My fucking gourmet rodent. Shout to, you know, Bill Brandt. But Andrew fucking flosses one before I could even know that there's one, and I fucking couldn't believe it.
Yeah, you know, I remember you kind of gave me the riot act, and I was like,
I was pissed. I was because I wanted that pattern.
I was like, and I remember I told you, I said, well, Mike, I posted him up. And you're like, well, I didn't see him. I'm like, how did you not see him?
I wanted like Forrest, where I came home and there's a box waiting for me. I'm just kidding. No, bro. Hey, I'm glad. Listen, I'm at no matter what, Andrew's my boy. There's no fucking, you know. Listen, this guy motherfucker has a basin that's fucking from Ed Marino. I can't compete with that. Tick game, which is breaking the whole Superdorf game. Can't compete with that. It's my boy. I look up to him a lot. Monitor game, out of control. But what I'm saying is, Timor is that's my bread and butter, right? That's my fucking, you know what I mean? Like, I love my Timor game, and I have some sick Timors, but I don't have those sick pattern ones that you had your hands on. And it made me sick because I wanted those for years.
Yeah, it's
But Andrew has them. I have them. People ask me, where do you find them? I ain't telling them, bro. We're the hoarders. We're hoarding the fucking shit out of those Timors. Just so you know.
That's all you got to do, man, because
I love them.
You know, I mean, this stuff just gets harder and harder to get. I mean, luckily, you know, they were bred, you know, some of them, you know, were bred here this year, but you know, this stuff's getting, you know, it's getting hard to get out of there, man. And
I love them. I've loved them. Look, I loved them since they were easy to get. I mean, bro, they were. It's like you were talking about how nobody wanted scrubs, and now they're fucking gold, and now all of a sudden Timors are almost on the same tip now. Like everyone wants.
It's the same thing, man. I mean, and that's just how it goes. You know, that's the beauty of social media for you guys. I mean, it's good and bad. You know, you'll drive the prices up on stuff because when everybody starts posting it. You know, someone will go, you know, someone overseas will see it and they're like, oh shit, you know, bro, why do you think croc monitors are so freaking expensive?
Dude, right.
I mean,
fuck.
10 years ago, I couldn't even sell a baby for $1,500. So
now they're like gone.
Yeah, it's, you know, but that's the thing because, you know, hobbyists got on the internet and, you know, they started, begging, people to get them these animals, but these people don't have a way to get it over there. So, you know, how does that, you know, it just, they screw themselves basically.
I think there's a rapper who said, I think is it Baby Ray J or something, but he says, everybody wants fame, Instagram's to blame. Because
hey, man,
it's like, true. You know what I mean? You go to Instagram and those are the celebrities nowadays, bro. Instagram, you know, like Snapchat. It's wild, bro.
Like I said, man, I mean, you're on my following, and I mean, I post pictures, I shit post, I post funny memes.
You're fucking hilarious. You got and listen, I mean, the only beef I got with you, bro, I send you some sick ones, and you don't ever really give me, like, you don't even say thank you sometimes, and I don't understand why.
You know what I have? I just have like an automatic like appreciation for what you send me.
I don't give a fuck. You make it up with your packages. I don't care. I fucking.
But hey, there are days when when people send me memes and I just forget to respond, send one back. But
I do send you some good ones though, huh?
Oh yes, you do. yes, you do. There's no doubt about that.
And it goes both
ways. And I think the last box you had the photo of the president in there, right?
Dude, check this out, bro. Yeah, and I listen. I don't. I'll probably lose some viewers here if I do. I don't give a fuck. But
oh god.
Yeah, but listen, dude. It was funny because Miguel Garcia, the homie Miguel from Always Evolving Pythons, came over visit my trap finally after fucking I don't know how many years I've been trying to get him here, but he came over. And his channel's cracking, so he put the whore on his fucking channel, and I saw one person bitching saying that how dirty my snakes look. Okay, but the only other shit that people are getting mad at was because they could see the Donald Trump fucking.
Hey, it's a good way to weed out your your list.
I was cracking up, bro. I was like, dude,
look, dude, I don't care.
That shit was fucking funny, bro. Like, listen,
I don't care, what people's political affiliation is. If you're a friend, you're a friend, and there's just people that take this shit too far, and it's just crazy. But I knew you would appreciate that, and I also, who did I do that to one time?
You did that to Forrest, I think.
I did it to Forrest, and I also sent it to Hannah when she got some blue tail monitors from me 2 years ago.
I remember you did it. I was like, I want a package like that. I was like, I want something like that. And you're like, all right.
It was good, man. It was funny.
Remember your business card that I have 2 of, man? Why don't you make that a fucking shirt or a logo? Like, that shit is so sick. I should go grab it. But
you know what? I got to. It's one of those things, man, where it's like,
send it to me, bro. I got I got everyone who put it together for. That's what I did for Desiree and all her Zoo Dream shit. I'm telling you, bro.
That's what I got to do. So I'll just get with you tomorrow.
Send it, bro.
Saturday when I got some free time, because every time I go to do it, something pops up and
who's going to want some JS apparel? That's what's really going to shake the hobby, bro. When some JS apparel is being sold?
I don't know, man. You kind of might get the reaction in Cleveland, like when LeBron left, everybody was out there burning his jersey and shit. So you might have that on some of the stuff.
Listen, I've already had somebody, or maybe a couple of teams like, oh, if Joe is the kind of guy you want to have kind of, on your back, or like somebody if that's the kind of person you want to be with, well, that says enough about yourself. Well, fuck it. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like I said, this is why I have him on here right now. I want to let you guys know who Joe is to me. And he basically explained himself to us on what it fucking is. There's no hidden stones. There's no fucking. And like, Joe, when you do say this though, Joe, you've learned a lot since throughout your years. You haven't been perfect, right?
No, I'm not perfect. I'll be the first to admit that.
Right.
I'm not perfect, and there's times where, I wish I, would have handled things differently, but in hindsight, 50-50, we're all human, and everybody in business, makes a mistake one way or another sometimes. And the only way hey, dude, if someone holds a grudge and, they can't get over it, well, guess what? Get over it, dude. Yeah. Because, honestly, it's like, what are you gonna do when your old lady goes out and bones your best friend? I mean, you're gonna hold that forever, And I mean, these people are.
Oh, Joe's anti.
It happens.
Marriage, but he fucks with Mrs. J. I'll tell you that right now. But he's anti-marriage.
It happens, bro. And I'm not spilling the beans on that. But I've heard enough stories that I just go, holy shit.
It's miserable. I'll tell you right now, bro. There's not too many people out there that really have a fucking true ride or die girl, because there's always some. Like, look at poor Will Smith, motherfucker.
Yeah,
wow,
man.
Yeah, Will Smith, and then he's like he's just taking it. Like, damn, bro. Like, if Billy were to pull that shit years down the road, motherfucker, we're not gonna have no cordial conversation on the table on social media. We're gonna be in a padded room where we got fucking. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but it's not. That's bullshit to me, bro. Like, but I'll never have to worry about that with Lily talking on wood, because she's fucking. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying it's hard to find. Men and women are fucking terrible. They're just vicious people, bro. They're I don't know.
Well, it's humanity as a whole. I mean, just by nature, we're just, there's people that just aren't good people. And yeah, I mean, I've seen the Will Smith memes and stuff, and that's just fucked up, man.
It's terrible. I just wish he just didn't put himself out there for people to make fun of him. It's fucked up. Because hey, really stop, bro. I fuck with Fresh Prince. I've always fucked with his non.
Of course, you did,
bro.
Bad Boys 1, 2, and 3. Come on, man,
bro. My fucking dog. Mike Larry. You know what I'm saying?
Mike Lowry.
Mike Larry. It just sucks.
I heard they're gonna be doing the fourth one. Filming is gonna start. It got delayed because of this whole virus thing, but they're gonna start filming in Miami soon for that. I heard. So that'll be cool.
So Joe, obviously traveling sucks right now. We can't really determine, period, right? I've been asking you to come visit Dago, but your collection's not something you could just up and leave, obviously, right?
Oh, I mean, it is. I got friends that aren't even
still in the building or not?
Oh, he is. He's been working hard. Shout out to P. Doing his thing, man.
You used to put that in the ringer.
What's up?
You used to put that fool to the ringer. I remember there's
times where he still does, man. I remember. Shit. I remember when I first met him, man. It was back in like 2013, and he was just he was a young kid then. He was like 16 years old or 15, and he comes up and he's like, oh hey, you're Joe, or I forgot how it was. We met at a Reptile show, local one here. I said, yeah, man, what's going on? And he was cool, and I could tell the kid was just, his heart was in the right place, and, he just loved going out, finding snakes out in the wild and photographing them. And tell you what, man, you talk about Steven, who, has bred stuff, before the age of 21. I mean, shit, Preston bred rhino rat snakes when he was, I think, 16 or 17. I mean, that's pretty impressive, dude.
That's pretty impressive, but there's only one Stephen Cush. Okay,
absolutely. I mean, you can't hold it.
Stephen doesn't watch my, unless it's unfiltered. He doesn't watch this, but somebody tell Stephen that he is the young OG triple of triple. He is holding. He actually took fucking. You know who was the young one before Stephen? It was Andrew. Andrew was a little baby. He was a fucking. I looked at him as a little young OG, but now
he's got like that baby face stone. He's
not as young as
killer, man.
Yeah. No, the homie's little, like he's pushing like what I think he's 22, 23, but little Stephen Cush ain't even 21 yet. This motherfucker turns 20 this year.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that kid. He's my boy, bro. Shout out to Stephen Cush.
Yeah,
man. And dude, let's hear it from you, Joe. What the fuck you think the future looks like for Steven and his scrub collection? Honestly.
Sky's the limit. Steve's very dedicated. He's very knowledgeable. He especially, working with, being friends with Forrest and working him for, that year, almost 2 years, it let him get into, to know more people. So sky's the limit for him, man. He's got his right head on his shoulders. He's a hard worker. He's knowledgeable. He's smart.
He's humble.
Sky's the limit, man. He's gonna be cranking out cool stuff. Definitely don't sleep on him.
No, Stephen Cush is not yet to be slept on. I'm telling you. I mean, I've fucked with Steven, before he went over to Forest. And he remember when he lived in Chicago and shit. This motherfucker.
Dude, Steve was a customer of mine for
I know
3 or 4 years before he even met Forrest, I think.
He had shit that I was like on my wish list for. Like he just had it. He had it all. And here he was. This motherfucker never even showed his face. Just his fucking same position, same background, which I loved his little fucking front house background. His photos were on fire. Like he had sick ass fucking photos. Go check out my homie Stephen Cook. But bro, yeah, he's been doing this shit for a minute, Stephen Cook.
You know, that's the thing, man. The guys like, like us that get into it young, I mean, you know, like I said, man, I got my first chondro when I was in, I want to say 7th grade, sixth grade. There was this private breeder up in Melbourne. I forgot the person's name. The guy just bred chondros and ball pythons. So my dad drives me up there, and, you know, I go ahead and I spent like $700 on like this like basic sarong. And, you know, the guy had all the, you know, the lineage and all that stuff. Well, here I am. I go get the sarong, you know, spent this type of money. And, bro, I get the snake. And, you know, mind you, I was already keeping snakes. I knew how to keep it. This thing wouldn't eat for like 2 months. So, I mean, I literally trying like every trick that I knew what to do. And finally one day I'm just like, whatever, fuck it. I just threw in a house gecko. Bro, the second the house gecko hit that branch, thing wrapped it up.
That's what it wanted.
It took another house gecko, and then it started eating on its own. Then it just died. And then after that, I'm just like, you know, then you see, you know, guys down here, you know, back when Ben Siegel was in, you know, back when Ben had his big shop and stuff, you know, he was getting, you know, all the farm babies and stuff back then. It's like, man, these things are, you know, 10 times as hardier than what I just bought. You know, thing eats damn near eating a deli cup on the way home, you know, but. You know, some snakes, it's just how it goes, you know. I mean, guy sold me a healthy snake, but for whatever reason, you know, it started eating on its own and just died one day, you know. Just like you say, man, keep moving forward.
Just keep it moving, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, what's crazy, I will say this, if anybody knows, because I have my phrases that I've been saying for a fucking probably a good couple years, but day by day, keep it moving. That's all shit that I stole from Andrew Acevedo, just so you guys know. I will make that, and I'll openly admit that those are shit that, like I told you, man. I guess I put it out there, but obviously Andrew's been getting shit from you, like obviously, right? Like you know that, me and you know that. Like he picked up stuff, but he was kind of like my mentor while we were both picking up stuff from you, and he would kind of like basically prepare me for shit to happen. And when it would happen, he would always be right. But like he would also what everything you're preaching now is basically what he instilled in my mind back when I was first picking up from you.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. And like this is why like he never bitches about shit, because it just happens. What the fuck are you gonna do?
Yeah.
It's plain and simple, bro. Like
I'll say right now, bro, nobody's taken more L's over the years than I have, just with, something that you're, I mean, just whatever, whether it's the business side of it or just your personal side. I mean, you keep enough stuff, something prized is going to die,
It's the name of the fucking game, bro. Plain and simple. But I will tell you this. The people that were trying to like tell me things like, this is why Joe's so-and-so, like they would ask me like, okay, so do you even have any animal from Joe? And I would start naming them off. And it's like, okay, what about any emeralds? Motherfucker, the emeralds are my pride.
Oh, God.
Are you kidding me, bro? Like the emeralds are what I'm so happy to show off. And out of the 9 that I keep, 6 of them came from Joe.
Listen, dude. But again, real quick, because I do want to kind of get out and go back fishing. But
I got you. No, yeah, we're good.
Again, that's a snake to where if you just get it and just leave it alone, don't mess with it. Don't set it up in some big fancy exoteric cage. Less is more, and you're not going to have a problem. Yep. And that's it, and I mean, it's just how it is. And again, it's whatever. It's literally beating a dead horse, and it's just one of those things. There's plenty of good snakes out there that people can get, and I mean, it is what it is. So.
But at the end of the day, I will say this, Joe. There's nothing more proud that I'm proud showing than the emeralds that I keep from you. I will say that right now, bro. And that's
Oh
all.
yeah, man, they're
I'm
nice.
trying to say, bro. Like, listen, at the end of the day, bro, you have the reason why I'm so hyped to show off my shit. The reason why I'm so hyped that the future looks bright is because you have fucking put me on a tremendous different type of level, bro. And I have so much respect for you, dude. I really do. Like, you have no idea, bro.
Well, so that's the case, man. You know, when all this virus stuff kind of subsides, and you know everybody's not freaking out, gotta get your ass down here to Florida. Hopefully before the fall, man. And we'll go out, do some snake hunting, do some fishing, and cause some problems.
One more thing I want to share before you dip, okay? One more. You ready?
Sure.
No, I'll never forget the Phil Dries. I was so on a colubrid kick that like I would just call Joe every week and be like, "What's coming in?" and he'd tell me, and I just kind of like buy whatever cool colubrids were coming in, and stuff I didn't even know what it was.
Bro, that's what Joe does to you, bro. He gets you on a kick on things, and then you're like, "Fuck!" And then he sends you one picture, and next thing you know, you get a group of them, and you're just like, "What the fuck?"
The funny thing is, MJ.
There you go, bro.
Good times, man.
That's the fucking truth, bro. At the end of the day, people want what Joe what the fuck has, and he wants motherfuckers to succeed, plain and simple. He just said that plain and simple on this episode, and that's it, bro. I appreciate your goddamn time so much, Joe. You're a real one, man. You're a real man.
Anytime, brother. Much love, and I'm glad I could come on here and chop it up, and always a blast to come on and talk a little shit and talk snakes and have fun,
We did
good.
Man. We didn't step over any boundaries. We held back, if anything. So
yeah, because I think people always expect me to come out like firing away. And I'm just like, I'm not really like that. I'm not that type. If I got a problem with someone, I'll pick up the phone and call them, or I'll catch them on the flip somewhere or something like that. I'm not gonna go sit there and have the gossip girls Facebook, groups and stuff. I don't care. That shit's irrelevant,
If I could ask you for one favor, Joe, this is just homie to homie, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Take care of everybody that come fuck with you, that like how you took care of me in the beginning. That's all. That's
of course.
All. That's it.
Of course. Everybody. That's the thing.
Because,
everybody
dude,
gets
I'm a lifer.
fairly, and it's just...
I'm a lifer with you. Like you have my respect forever, bro. And listen, if you do that same thing for everybody else, I feel like you're gonna have a lot of lifers. And I know you're not looking for everyone to be your friend, but just if you can, take care of people the way you took care of me.
Everybody gets taken care of to the best I can. Like we talked about before. God, if a snake dies 2-3 months later and you get these people who are new to the hobby and then they just start blaming you, it's like, well, dude, that's not my fault. If you're keeping it in a substandard cage with a 100-degree spot bulb, that's your fault, man. I can't I can't you can't make the horse drink the water.
You can lead him there.
You can lead him there, but you can't make him. So,
hey, you're my boy, Joe. Get ready, because when I come see you, we're gonna have some nights together, me and you.
Hey, man. Well, hopefully I'll get out here and go find some pythons that are moving. It just rained earlier, so yeah, hopefully we'll find some pythons crossing tonight, and get the boat out, have some fun in that, tear some shit up in that, catch some cool fish, and have some fun.
Joe fucking Switalski, you did a fucking hell of a job, my man. I'm gonna hit you up, Joe. Thank you so much for your time, dog.
Anytime, brother. Take care.
I'll talk to you soon.
Yep.
Whew, man. There it is. There you have it. My boy, Joe fucking Switalski. It is what it is. Like I said, this episode wasn't about me fucking putting him on a pedestal, telling him how he's this and that. I shared my own personal experience, to be fair. I know a lot of you have had bad experiences with him, and all that's valid, right? But at the end of the day, you roll the fucking dice, okay? You don't go to Vegas as a gambler asking, I don't want to lose more than $100 when you're spending $1,000, $2,000. You could lose all that shit. So just stop, okay? Do the protocols. Do the smart thing. Quarantine like a motherfucker. Okay, if shit goes south, hey, approach the guy accordingly. Not to say nobody has. I'm just saying, do the shit that's right on your behalf. Let them know that fucking MJ sent you, because we got this episode. We got this shit live. I told them, do me a favor, please. Treat everybody else the way you've treated me, because look how I stand up for him. It's my boy. Plain and simple. Shout out to everyone who viewed tonight, man. I appreciate everybody who tuned in. Good episode, man. I'm telling you, this is a lot of stuff to learn on both ends. And yeah, man. Imports, no jokes, man. It's just like when you know, the loss is always on both ends. I don't want to keep rambling about this, man, but I've had enough mistakes with certain imports where I would never ever go that route with that import. You fucking have to live and learn. You feel me? Like, I have good homies of mine who have lost animals from Joe, but still buy from Joe. Like clockwork. Why is that? Because they know what the fuck they're getting themselves into. They know that it's not personal. Okay? Joe's not intentionally doing shit to fuck you over. You feel me? It's the name of the game. A lot of you may disagree with this. A lot of people who've had horrible experiences. I'm sure you look, Joe just damn said he has not been a perfect person. He probably has done some fucked up shit. We all have. So it's all about what we do moving forward, right? All I was trying to do yesterday, was it yesterday or today? I don't know. I'm fucking high and drunk. But all I was trying to do, it was yesterday. But all I was trying to do was bring a positive light for this fucking man in a Facebook page where he's just diminished and just fucking slander after slander after slander after slander. Like making it seem like he's fucking Hitler and he's never done anything good for anybody. That's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. Go look at Miguel Garcia's YouTube fucking episode where he fucking toured my fucking snake trap. Everything came from Joe. I only showed a couple ball pythons. Everything else came from Joe for the most part. Been doing this for fucking going on 4 years. Everything I've kept over 3 years I've been keeping. Thriving on newspaper. The fuck, man? I don't need to be a part of any page to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm a part of pages. I follow people that help me thrive and want to do better. Things I could share. Things I could learn from, right? How's anyone going to learn anything if you're just deleted, right? If your comments, anything, your thoughts are just deleted. I won't stand for that shit. And we all know that Facebook's known for that. But me personally, and we all know I love green tree pythons. Green tree pythons, are you kidding me? That's my end goal. I mean, other than Team Wars and a couple other things, but green tree pythons, like, my prized possession is fucking Chapo 2.0. Like, come on. And I'm now not a part of a page because my words are deleted, you know, and the person wants me to cool down and gives me a final warning. Fuck yourself, bro. It's not happening. I don't care. I don't need to be a part of your page. You could boot me. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to name drop you. I do have respect for people in this hobby who are telling me not to bash you, and I'm not going to bash you. I'm going to keep it short and simple. But keep Reptile name, you know, keep Reptile as, you know, which was Forrest's fucking brand. Reptile, keep that name out your goddamn mouth, period. Okay? The reason why I get so hyped up is because you're fucking with people that I care about, right? So, and then deleting my words is a whole another thing. But that's all I got to say about that, man. I'm going to move forward from this. We are all good. This was a great episode. Jesus, we talked about Joe's fucking, how many bites did he have? What, 2009, 2017, 2018, and another one? The guy's been bit so many damn times, it's ridiculous. But he does what he does because he fucking loves it, man. So it's nuts. Passion, true passion, man. So can't wait. This was a great fucking episode, like I've been saying. But I'm going to get going. Stay tuned for next week, man. Next week's going to be sick. If any of you follow me on my Instagram, which you should, okay, Exotics Cartel, MJ Exotics Cartel, link in the description below. Make sure you follow me. But we locked in a super sick back-to-back episode. Got two motherfuckers that are going to be talking. Yes, it's ball python motherfuckers, just so you know. I noticed there's not hardly any ball python people in here today, which is, I'm cool with that. Whatever. But once I have ball python people on the show, it's like, oh, all these ball python people show up. It's funny. It's funny how that works, but it's cool. I ain't worried about that, man. But either way, shout to everyone who tunes in. Shout to all my supporters, man. We're gonna keep moving. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep fucking just killing shit, man. But have a good night. Yada. Whoa.